Welcome to Truth Uncompromised. I am your host, Rhonda. Join us every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Truth is peace. Truth is justice and freedom to love, live, and be. Music provided by SourceVibrations.com.
There's an old friend that I want to say, something that touched my heart, and it began this way.
All right, family, welcome to the Truth Uncompromised show. I am your host, Rhonda, and tonight is Thursday, June 15th. We have a great show planned for you tonight. I've been thinking about this show for quite a while. Tonight's topic is the divine feminine. This is the second take on us speaking on how important and how overlooked women and that divine feminine concept is. A couple of months ago, we talked about the goddess. So I think it's about time that we dive back into this subject again. So I'm really, really excited about it tonight. So we're going to get started. I see Brother Sean there. I'm not sure. Okay. See Brother Wendell. Sis, I thought I saw you. Press *1 to get in the queue if you're joining us tonight on the panel. So let me bring in Brother Wendell. Hey, Brother Wendell, how you doing?
I'm all right. We're getting a little rain down here in Georgia.
What? It was raining last week.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Okay, then. All right. Well, glad to have you here.
It's hard thing let up a little bit, but I don't see it coming.
Wow. Is there any flooding going on?
It was nice earlier. They just started here about maybe an hour ago.
Okay. Okay. All
Yeah.
right. Okay, then. Well, good to have you on. Let me get Brother Sean. Okay. Greetings, brother. How are you?
Greetings, brother, sister. I'm well. Greetings, Brother Wendell.
Greetings, brother.
All right. All right. Okay, so tonight we are going to get into the topic of the divine feminine. It's interesting. About last year, I don't know what I was doing. There goes Sis. There she goes. Hold on a second, Sis Andrew. Hold on. Greetings, Sis.
Greetings. I don't know what happened. I done pressed it about 3 times.
Yeah, I noticed it a little bit staticky when I was playing the little music. I'm like, okay, we're going to get past this hump tonight. So I saw people dropping on. No. Huh?
And hopefully they don't give us any problems tonight. So,
yeah.
I had enough for this last week, for sure.
I know that's right. Right. So,
Brother Wendell, send some of that rain
Yeah.
here to California.
I wish you to go somewhere.
Yeah, because we're supposed to go up to 111 between here and yeah, I'm like, oh man. Yeah, so send that rain. Let's take the heat. Let's change. Anyway, hello. I'm here.
Okay. All right, then. Okay, so tonight's topic is the divine feminine. Like I said, I'm really excited about this topic. About last year, I don't know what I was working on. I was doing some research for one of the shows. And all of a sudden, I looked at the word feminine itself, and I said, wait a minute. Is that the number 9 in there? How could I have missed that? So, the number 9 itself, let's talk about that number. It is a very, 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 very important number. Number 9 represents completion. And I also say it represents the beginning as well, although I know 1 represents that also. But if you look at the number 9 in math and geometry, specifically sacred geometry, and when we talk about sacred geometry, always think about the shapes, so meaning the circle, the square, the triangle, and specifically the circle, how you can break the circle down in the different angles, and all of those particular sacred geometry shapes have the number 9. They reduced to the number 9. So you have the circle with the 360 degrees, 3 plus 6 is 9. Square, you could do it 90 degrees each angle, which is 9. 9 plus 0 is 9. Triangle, total 180. 1 plus 8 is 9. And just a simple angle itself is 90 degrees. 9 plus 0. Okay, so again, it's no coincidence that the number 9 itself and the word feminine or feminine is how they pronounce it, but they spell it feminine, are correlated together. Okay, because the divine feminine concept is creation itself. So it takes a woman 9 months to bring to complete a birth cycle. Okay, so the number 9 and the feminine concept is very, very tied together. Okay, so before I go into, I have actually a very, very powerful video. I encourage you all to listen to the whole thing. It's not that long. It's about an hour or something. But it's off of YouTube channel Brooklyn Maggie, and just kind of subscribe to that channel anyway. That particular person puts a lot of science out there, a lot of the old Bobby stuff, and a lot of the other lectures. But this particular sister, I had never heard of her. Her name is Sister Tyra, and the name of the video is The Return of Het Heru, the goddess. And she, in this particular clip, breaks down the mathematics of the woman. And I had seen this video years ago. I want to say 3-4 years ago. Still was not really making that connection to the number 9 until, like I said, last year I was working on something and then it just hit me in the face. And I'm like, oh, now I get it. So before we go into the video, did anybody else want to put anything on it? Let me try to find the video.
Right to it.
Okay, let me, I said that and I should have been finding the video. Yep, I got it. Okay, so this one is going to be 20 minutes, but she drops a lot of hard science out the gate. So here we go. The Het Heru Goddess by Sister Tyra.
Peace, brothers and sisters. Sister Tyra.
Peace.
From Brooklyn, New York. You see our title today, Het Heru has returned.
That's right.
Those of you who are familiar with Kemet know that Het Heru flooded mankind with a menstrual cycle. And that's exactly what I intend to do today. And I'm keeping it real because I am menstruating. Sorry if that's a little FYI, but those of you who are spiritual know that I am mega powerful right now. So,
That's it.
I'm reading your thoughts as you're thinking them. I want to start off with a poem I wrote. It's dedicated to the black man, and it's called Climax the Comeback. I don't think that I've had a good orgasm in years. And it has to do with the loss of innocence, the loss of pure spiritual energy combined with sexuality that allowed me to feel those multiple orgasms I felt years ago. We're going to go into that later.
All right, sis.
But, okay, here it goes. All black people give praise to the Most High, Mother most beautiful, black woman capable of all things. Inside of me is the house of light. The atom is split orgasmically, and I claim the night. Moisture and earth I use to grow my seed. I bring it to form and will it to be. My constellation is 56 black, 18 indigo, and 3 parts saffron. A diamond in the sky with sand for gates. My stratosphere is thick with a fertile jelly, and no man can resist. I am a quiet storm brewing, and the Ethiopian sea cannot quench my fires. The shooting star of he who rides scorched my surface, but it harmed me not. The blast threw 8 planets off axis, and they fell into my bosom. I refused them not. Her celestial kindness watched and motioned for us to lock. The moon, she encouraged us and coaxed my flow. Basically, I just nutted. But on a deeper spiritual level, what do I do with this? With this nut or this newt or this heaven? I can use it either to reproduce or I can use it to destroy the world. The choice is not just up to me, it's up to you and how you treat me. And this is exactly what we're going to go into today. We're going to prove scientifically and mathematically, or through my ITM, which is true, just, or right and exact, that the whole basis of the atomic bomb, atomic energy fusion is based on my body. We're just working on the equation for energy. We're going to break it down, round it to the nearest whole. We get it, that 2.7 becomes a 3. But numerologically, it becomes a 1. So if E equals 3 and E equals 1, then 3 must be 1. 3 and 1 must be 1 and the same. How do we know this? Flip them off if I'm done. But 3, 6, and 9 have a very special relationship to each other. They're one and the same number. They represent the same deity, the woman or Aset. And their relationship is seen through multiplication. Symbol multiplication being the X. Is used for multiplication, but it's also the symbol of resurrection, which is the same thing. It's the same thing. Whenever you multiply a 3 by any of these numbers, you'll always birth a 3, 6, or 9. So if 3 times 3 is 9, 3 times 6, 18, 1 plus 8 is 9. The only number that remains consistent, that whenever you multiply with something and it comes back to itself, is the 9. Completion. And we do things as a woman in this same 3, 6, 9 flow. When we develop a child, we do it in 3 trimesters. And when you break down tri, 3, mes, birth, terth, part, 3 parts of birth. There's 3 parts to birth and development. And it's actually after this first part that you get the deity will divide herself. After the 3 months, she will either choose if that child in her womb will become a male or a female. This process she does in 10 moons or 10 months. It's called gestation. We in the knowledge break it down 7 is God. So this is the process of God coming here. Pregnancy is the process of God coming here. I am actually in front of you holding the Ark of the Covenant where the 2 cherubims are facing one another. the inundation, the times the water is dominating, are what we would call a flood. Now, mythology is very powerful, and that expresses ideas, behaviors, or events in a way that you can always understand. Modern day, that means we can take a story, like the one of us said, that was written roughly 8,000 years ago. The crack is going to tell you 5, but I'm going to tell you probably 8, probably older than that. The first woman, or even that of Harum, which she's ridding the world of evil deeds through her menstrual cycle. What does this mean? All she's doing is giving birth to righteous people. And a righteous man does not have a problem slaying an evil man. Only a man who is not just himself will give that leeway. Also surrounded by red, white, and blue, she who birthed first. And her cycle, my cycle goes in this exact order. It starts with the red, which is my menses. It goes into the white, which is my fertile jelly I was speaking of, that allows me to become pregnant, that nourishes sperm. And the blue is, if I'm pregnant, my cervix will turn blue. And so will my eyelids. I want to exemplify this. Moons, water, light. All we need to live, but they can all kill us. So if you make me angry and I control this, I can use these against you. Your sun will not shine anymore. You cannot keep your head above the water. So what's this? This is destruction. Ultimate. This is when they speak of nuclear, atomic bombs. All they're using is tiny little specks about the size of my egg, which is about the size of a period at the end of the sentence. And they blasting you to fuck with planet Earth. The days in my cycle, we're going to give or take a day or two, about 28 days. The 4 phases, the fertile, the infertile, the menses, the premenses, the various colors of moons, and the colors, like I said, that I also go through. And this is actually regulated by the moon. I experienced, last year, I was having problems with my menstrual cycle, and it wasn't me, it was problems with the moon. I chart the moon with my cycle, and I saw that around November, the moon had jumped through a phase. And I'm like, well, why is my period off course? That's why. When this cracker puts shit in the air, fucks with satellite signals, fucks with everything else, puts telephone poles, anything that's emitting electricity is going to fuck you up. So when you wonder why 1 in 10 women can't have a baby now, you know why. The common properties, sands, minerals, they share the same composition. If you look at any planet, any rock, the rock of ages, you will find that the same chemicals, the calcium, iron, magnesium, the acids, are all found right there in a woman's menstrual flow.
Yeah.
Okay, so menstrual fluid being almost identical to the primordial waters, the primitive waters of Noon, the Nile. One area I want to focus on particularly with these entities is their common properties. The woman's menstrual cycle, regulated by the moon, when she releases an egg, it forms a yellow mass, a yellow body called the corpus luteum, or a sun, that in turn will heat her uterus to incubate. The egg is a spherical atom, and it bursts, when it's released, it bursts into space or the abdomen. And her cervical fluid is, once again, I guess, analogous to a man's semen. And I'll even show you an example of what it looks like, spewing out of her cervix which is the analogy to his the tip of his penis. All of these are necessary for life, flowing in gases, liquids, and solids. The spiritual nature of this, I guess, would be going from the physical, which is the solid, to the mental, which is the liquid, onto the spirit or the soul, which is the gas. So she manifests both physically, mentally, and spiritually who she is, and she does this with consistency. When the sperm fertilizes her egg, it's the same as the absorption of light by an atom, because this causes to what? When an atom absorbs light, it jumps into a higher orbital. It becomes something else, and this is the same thing my egg does when it's fertilized. I just want to show an example. We're going to use as a model the sun. You see the planet Earth here. Regardless of what you see, we just want to use some type of model that you can understand. The sun can be seen as an atom. The Earth can be seen as an atom. We're dealing with the one. But just so you can have kind of an example of what I'm going to show. And this is actually my own image of an atom absorbing light. It starts out here. Once the light hits it, you see it jumps high, and it will continue to do so. The egg is the same way. When the sperm penetrates the egg, both literally and symbolically, it becomes the infinite. They combine and they split. Before they split, they form the symbol of infinity, or what we the reverse 8, which in Senegal we know is a unit for family. So we said that if 3 equals E and 3 is the same as a set, then energy is the woman. Conception is creating with thought. As our lower selves now, we have to have sex to reproduce, but it was not always so. There was a time when I could have brought you here by myself. But with the displacement of my culture and a lot of my knowledge now, I'm dependent on your lower self to help me produce. You no longer impregnate me with just the thought of me. You now have to dominate and penetrate me to do so, which I enjoy nonetheless. I still enjoy it.
Of course.
You know, but so we say that the atomic bomb is none other than immaculate conception. I just want to make it clear that the female energy is not just one of love and creativity. It is one of chastisement and restriction as well. A mother has the ability to both love and protect or to spank your ass, depending on what's needed. The planet Earth and black people need to be spanked in the ass. Why? Because they've chosen to worship a demon who does not have a planet of his own, who found a glitch to come here, and that's why you see all the people of the planet Earth have color. He's the only one walking around here looking like he don't belong here. And even was lucky enough to have an ice age that allowed him to survive this long. But with my return, and I told the cracker in 1492 I was coming back for his ass when he first raped me and killed me. I told him I was coming back. So now, cracker, all y'all Masons who have the words of your honorable father who told you that there will be an angry black woman coming for your ass, now you know that was more than prophecy. So if Ma'at, or the Ma'atian infinite, if egg forms the infinite, then what? The man and the woman, or light and life, the potential of the infinite. Life, activity. Light, energy. I want to even use a biology book I have to affirm what I'm saying about all of this. And even though I'm using a cracker's book, it's not his book because everything he got in here he learned from me anyway.
Right.
So all I'm doing is reiterating my stolen shit.
That's right.
The cracker put his name on. But it says, what is energy? Energy is the capacity to do work. In this definition, work refers to any of a wide range of different actions, including synthesizing molecules, moving objects, and what did we say her progesterone, her yellow mass does? Generate heat and light. It can either be kinetic or potential. That's energy of movement, that would be kinetic, or potential, depending on whether it is in use or stored. When I came into the world, I came here with 1 million of these atoms. At the age of 25, I probably have roughly about 400,000 of them left, but that's still a lot. And brothers talk about Kundalini energy, sexual energy, being able to move cells in your body, that's the blast. If a brother can ejaculate, so can I. If I'm the one who taught him how to do it, then I very well should be the one that does it the best. Although there is no superior or inferior, even though one is to lead and the other is to follow. We want to make that clear. We're going to look at the ghost or the Godhead, and I'm going to give you, aside from my own wicked sketch, I want to just for a moment, since we're talking about the holy womb, I want to take you a little bit through the anatomy of my holy womb. Here's just a quick shot. See, my version isn't too much different, but here you have the uterus. As I said, the twin serpents or the two cherubims on either side, the egg sacs, the vaginal canal is here. But what is it? This is the ghost, the Godhead. Here's another model, one I like even more. But as you can see, the black seed swimming through that fertile jelly I was talking about, not getting trapped in the sticky stuff, but swimming easily up into the uterus where he can fertilize one of these beautiful eggs. I just wanted to give you a better picture so you kind of see where I got my models from. We're going to break this down spiritually and physically as well. This will be the inner space or the heavens, would be her womb, the eye or the opening, the cervix, which is also the inundator. This cervix produces, this is what makes this fertile jelly. Let me see, I know I have a picture of it in here. I'll come back to it either way. But the cervix is what produces. It has special crypts, like the ones you see here. These crypts in here, not only does sperm hide out, where they can live for up to a week in here, but it produces this special jelly that allows them to live so long. This is the model you see for the Nimitz crown or the Zion beard, the rib. And this is my vaginal canal, which is 6 inches deep, either 6 or 7. Like Brother Eileen broke down, depending on whether you got dimples or not. I have dimples, so I must got a long pussy. Pussy cat. The fimbria, or the fingers of the tooth. Like I said, this is these are the angels. These are the wings. Or the I also call this is the papyrus swamp where Heru hidden. Because this is when my egg bursts into space, it doesn't just get in here. It has to be picked up by these. And these actually flare up. They move. Meaning if I release the egg over here, it doesn't have to be this one. This one will pick up, will reach over and get it, whichever one chooses to. But they actually, as soon as that egg comes out and they sense that fluid, they begin to move around and actually search for it. So every birth is on purpose. The sacral bones, the rear, where we hear about the first chakra, this is actually the ovaries, the atomic energy field. This is where everything happens. Why? Because this is where all the atoms are. Therefore, this is where all the energy is. And not just eggs, but tiny vessels that can produce sperm. So you can see how a divine woman who fertilizes one of these eggs, not necessarily to be used to bring forth a child, but to, like I said, to blast your ass off the planet Earth. If she chooses to, she can do this with just a thought. We need to understand and Stop being this.
All right. So that was by a sister named Tyra, and the name of the video is The Return of Heru, the Goddess, and it is off of the YouTube channel Brooklyn Maggie. Okay, did anybody want to put something on it before I go into my little points?
Go ahead,
okay.
sister. I might pick you back off of you.
Okay. So, I think that's Brother Will. Okay, Brother Will, let me, I'll bring him in. I think I'm remembering your number right, 504. Let me bring in 504. 504, your line is open.
Hey, how you doing?
Oh, hey, Brother Will, I'm starting to remember your number. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm just, taking it in, listening,
All right.
If of course, when you start talking about that divine feminine, that's what I live by. So.
Yeah, I knew you was coming on tonight.
So, I'll let you do your thing, and I'll chime in a little later.
Okay.
Peace to the family, though. Brother Sean, and whoever else out there,
Okay. All right. I'm gonna leave your line open, so just mute yourself, and then when you want to come in, just come on in.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All righty. So what I loved about how that sister broke it down, she literally used the woman's biological makeup to compare it to basically the atomic bomb. And as a matter of fact, she was so strong about it, she said basically that the woman's cycle was really based off of the atomic bomb. And so I had to think about it, and I'm like, okay, that makes a lot of sense to me. So I found that very, very interesting. I also like how she said that she kind of slipped it in real fast, but she made it clear that women used to be able to bring life forward themselves, so meaning they did not need to be inseminated by a man. And so anybody that's been doing their research, that's nothing new. She's not the first to say that. There has many who have said that it used to be an all woman society, and when women chose to procreate in the physical, they would do it themselves. So, and she'll get to this in the second part of the video, where everything started with the woman. Okay, so for some of you, this may be tough if you've never heard this before. So get ready. This is not about man bashing. This is about telling the truth. Okay, everything started in this physical creation that we know it, in this universe as we know it, with the woman. Okay, she created the entire universe. She created the physical form. She started with the physical form with herself, the women, and then she created or thought into existence the man. So there is no coincidence that we live on a woman planet. There is no coincidence that in order for souls to be brought forth into this lifetime, that a woman must do it. There is no coincidence that a woman's body, a woman's cycle is tied very much to the cycle of the land, and it ties back to that divine number 9 that we talked about. So I'm going to pause just in case somebody want to put something on it, and then I do see someone else in the queue, so I'm coming to you. You don't have an extension, but I'll be there with you in a second.
Yeah, right along with Mother Earth. We have to remember Mother Nature. And it's like basically everything, even technology is referred to as her. Ships are referred to as her.
That's
a lot of
true.
people refer to their vehicles as her. And in this day and age, look how many so-called men that you have wanting to be her.
Yeah. It's interesting. Interesting that you say so many men wanting to be her. I was talking to one of my good friends. He's passed on. You know him too, Brother Sean, Brother Thomas. We were talking
Indeed.
a couple years ago.
Indeed.
And Ashe brother. And we were talking about, you know, the homosexuality that's been rampant on the planet. We were also, whether that be homosexuality, whether it be transgender, whatever, okay? So I was telling him, and I wish I can find that damn clip. I'll try to find it. It's Brother Bobby Hemmett put it out in the damn 90s. And he predicted that it would come a time on the planet when homosexuality would be the thing. And as a matter of fact, he referred to this documentary called Paris is Burning about these homosexuals and transgender men, and actually melanated men in that particular community. They were really the ones that invented that dance, Vogue, that Madonna made famous. It came from the gay community, okay? So the point he was trying to make was that particular energy was coming upon this planet, okay? And the reason that energy is upon this planet, you know, some say that it's an agenda by the elite to control the population, to demasculate the melanated man, and that may well be true, okay? But the spiritual side of it, Bobby gave a take on it, and I really had to think about that, was that the energy of the planet is shifting. And now I'm to the point where it has already shifted. We're at the beginning, where it is bringing it back into balance with the feminine, the divine feminine.
Right.
This particular universe, this particular planet, Mother Earth, was never meant to be a male-dominant planet. Okay? That is the reason what kept us in the dark ages. We were out of balance. Okay,
Indeed.
so it was very, very interesting that Bobby said that back in the 90s, that we were going to start seeing a lot of homosexuality, a lot of transgender, and he said the melanated man was going to usher it in, and from a spiritual perspective, that was the start of the divine feminine coming back in order. That is also why these young children that are born in, yeah, some of it is the agenda that the elite are putting out, but like everything else they do, the shit backfires. Okay, because that's just how karma works. Okay, so why they call themselves being nickel slick, doing agenda to stop procreation, it was actually fueling the feminine divine to swing back in order. So that is why now the younger generation, they really don't have a concept of sexuality. That's why you have the gender, folks playing with the gender. It is an energy thing. Yes, some of it is manipulation. But from a spiritual perspective, it is an energy of bringing the divine feminine back to her rightful place. She was knocked off of her throne. We never had a male-dominated society. This is something new in this particular age. So with that said, let me bring on the caller in the queue, and then we'll get back on. Here we go. Greetings, beloved. You're on the air. Okay, going once. Going twice. Okay, sorry, sweetheart. You're going to have to get back in the queue. Okay, let me bring on three. Oh, damn it. Did somebody else say something, or was that caller?
No, this is Brother Will.
Okay, go ahead, brother.
Yeah, I just wanted to throw something out there, how this is actually, it was already scripted for this to take place.
Mm-hmm.
For everything that's happened with the return of the divine feminine, which I'm more than sure you touched on. I joined kind of late about that number 9, and how it represents many things, but it also represents the return of that divine feminine, and it's crazy.
That's right.
Like I tell people that I break down the Bible from a metaphysical level, basically about the physical and spiritual bodies and property. Now, I wanted to bring this to your attention with which many people don't understand, that this thing was going to happen whether you like it or not, just like you just said, right? Matthew 12:42, it says, "The queen of the south shall rise in judgment with this generation, and shall condemn it. For she came from the uttermost parts of the earth to hear the wisdom of Solomon, and behold, the greater Solomon is here." Now, the word Solomon only means soul of man. And when they talk about this queen came from the south, and she's rising up in judgment, we're talking about this energy that has been dormant in your root chakra, okay, which is the south. So this divine energy is rising up at its peak. Like I said in the video earlier, this is where you get Sleeping Beauty from, okay, the cartoon. Okay, and the Seven Dwarfs is nothing but the chakra.
Oh, that's interesting.
So you got this particular queen, okay, who's been asleep, she ate an apple, whatever the case was, and love woke her up. And love woke her up, which was a kiss, okay, woke her up and brought her to where she needed to be. And it's crazy that it says the queen of the south shall condemn this generation. And the storms that hit New Orleans, okay, the tornadoes and all of that, they told me that shit was going to take place, you know, and it's crazy that this particular goddess, Oya, or Oya, however you want to pronounce it, you know, made sure she sent the message, because nobody died, you know. So that's really something to think about. And of course, numerology is all through the Bible. So if you do Matthew 12:42 plus 12 is 54, and 5 plus 4
is 9.
Now here we go again. We back at the same thing.
Absolutely. Let me bring on 347, and then we'll keep chopping it up. Here we go.
Okay.
347, your line is open.
Peace and love, family. How are y'all?
Peace and love, beloved. How are you?
Great. Much love to each and every one of you. I just wanted to throw something on the table that I think, not in controversy or anything, but in examination, more or less. I'll premise it with the fact that we're at a stage where now every heart, that their divine feminine flame is coming forth. It's being, for the open heart, that's the direct connection to our higher self and our higher presence, our I am presences. But what I wanted to throw on the floor is the fact that according to the way we look at things, like we look at scriptures and we look at things that were scripted or prophesied to happen. And it seems that what we seem to miss is the whole idea of the science and even the science of the spiritual makings of things. For instance, when we know that in order to manifest, we had to give up something. So that giving up of something was, that's the portion of the darkness that we're placed in when we come here. Only to actually learn to combine the three energies, the love, wisdom, power for manifesting. So that is to say that if we look at things the way they are unfolding from a perspective that, like every science step, there's ingredients, there's a time proposition, and then there's an outcome that comes in layers and through steps. So as opposed to conflict, is really just all an unfolding of what the only way it can manifest. I don't know if that's clear or not, but I just wanted to throw that on the table.
Okay, I got a little lost with you. I see you 215. I'm coming to you, sweetheart, in just a second. I have to admit, I did get lost when you started speaking on manna. We had to give up something to manifest. What did we have to get up to manifest?
In other words, to come down from on high into the earth, we put on a new garb. And we had to learn how to use God, from within it, as opposed to keep reaching outside of it and looking outside of it. We had to learn that we, the seed inside of that God, inside of these earthly bodies, these are just uniforms or vehicles to utilize. And all we've been struggling to do is utilize it in the divine manifestation.
Okay, now I get it. Okay, so you're talking about when we left the ethereal and came into the physical, and
yes.
Either forgot, some of us forgot, or lost a lot of the powers, and the DNA strand was stricken, because we really have 12. Well, some of us anyway have 12 strands of DNA. So, okay, I get that part.
And two, that it's not so much a loss as traveling on a new, we how Star Trek used to say it, we're traveling on a new terrain.
Right, new frontier. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's like, we just been going through life lessons of learning how to combine or integrate all these realms in one to manifest on the earth, because the manifest is not the essence, but it is the essence which manifests.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's interesting that you bring that up, because Brother Morris was with us on Tuesday. We did the online book party for When Europe Was Black, and as I explained to the family, not only is the book about the true story of the black nobility, black royal royalty or royalty also goes into the true history of the planet. And I actually took one of the excerpts out of the book, and it says, finally we come to the third Holy Trinity, which is the Supreme Being Personality, Prime Creator. And when he was on the show Tuesday, he talked about that Prime Creator is neither male or female. It just is. Okay, so the Prime Creator subdivides both the Melchizedek and the Christ orders in order to produce the Supreme Being Order, which exists as trillions of beings operating upon thousands of dimensions. These are the divine beings who govern the universes, and their color is purple. All of these orders were produced from the female consciousness. They then collectively united with the consciousness of Prime Creator for the purpose of thinking the males into existence. So the females could teach them how the creation operated. Now, the reason I'm bringing this, actually that's a very, very powerful excerpt. The reason I'm bringing this excerpt is into play because what we have to enter and understand, it's just not about what we see here. What we see here is duality. So, of course, we're going to think, oh, yeah, male and female balance. Yes, that is the way it's supposed to happen. It's not being currently done that way now because the man dominates. But what I am trying to get out of this, we have to give the divine feminine her credit.
Exactly.
She is the creator of the man, not the other way around. She thought this stuff into existence. She created the man. It has been forgotten. She has been knocked off of her throne. So if we don't tell it, we need to tell it honestly and correctly. That is the true story of the divine feminine.
Let me add something to that.
Absolutely.
If you don't mind.
Absolutely, brother.
See, this is the thing. There's information out there that talks about this, but it's coded. Okay. And I say this all the time. I say this all the time because the people who wrote the Bible in codes. Now, they know deeper sciences than what we have in books. So
right.
This is why, of course, you got to go digging in the realm to see what your truth really is. So, is the reason why they put the word Genesis, which actually means the beginning, at the beginning of the Bible. And when you break down the word Genesis, you have genes or genealogy of the goddess Isis, which the Bible opens up with the melanated goddess. Okay? And you get to the first three words in the Bible, which is in the beginning, which that don't mean it actually started something. Because if I say at the beginning, then you were at the beginning. But if it's in the beginning, that means something was already taking place. So this particular goddess was already on the planet before anything else. She's the one that covered herself in dirt. Okay, which was the ashes of the Titans. That's a whole other story. But this particular goddess was first. You know, and people don't talk about that. They understand it because it's there and it's on paper. It's like reading a paragraph or something and you understand it, but we don't walk in it. Right. And that's where we need to get to where we are walking in this particular energy. You know,
Absolutely.
most of your in different cultures, from Ifa to San Maria to the Voodoo cultures, when people are giving offerings, most of the time they're giving offerings to female deities. So, what is it with these particular deities or these females or this energy that makes you want to reach for? You know, that makes you want to grab on and say, you know, what's going on here, and what makes it so powerful to where I know back in the 90s and the 80s, you wanted to spend all your time by grandma. You know, what is it with that particular energy that you wanted to be around? You know,
very good point.
It's actually something normal within us, but we have been trained to fight against it.
Right. So, very good point, brother. Well, thanks so much, brother. Did you have anything else you want to bring in, 347?
Yeah, just to say that when we realized that there was nothing created that was not called for, so that all things had a purposeful meaning and a reason.
That is true. Absolutely.
And so again, it's still about the reaching, because it took many lifetimes of this earthly thing for certain levels of that integrated love, wisdom, power to come about. And at passion and we look at compassion, and we know there's a difference, but yet both are the same. It's still one. It's just the manner of how it's being used. And you know,
very well said. Very well said, brother. Okay. All right, brother. Okay, brother. Peace and love. Peace and love. Very good input.
Hey, Ron.
Yes, sir. Go ahead, brother.
I think what the brother 347 was trying to explain, and I could be wrong with 1,000 left shoe, but from what I'm hearing, is there was an agreement made, and somewhere everybody forgot.
Oh, now exactly. That I 1,000% agree with you. Absolutely.
And the agreement is that everybody had to give up their sovereignty to run this experiment. Now we got to figure out how to get in there.
Dang, that's deep.
Hey, let
everybody
me add on to that.
To give up their sovereignty. Woo!
That's so dope.
Go ahead
that's so dope right there. I'm sorry.
You good. Go ahead.
I'm so sorry because that's so on point. Because the thing about it is this: the only way you can have a diamond in your hand is if you polish it and get all that dirt and black tar and all of that stuff off at first. So us, you know, people growing up in the hood and the so-called ghetto and this and that, all of that is polishing, because we have to get to the point where we understand that death is not even real. So when we get into the aspect of, man, we out here dying and this and that, well, I just had a brother of mine transition last week, and the day after he transitioned, this crazy cat sitting in the truck with me, man, what's going on? Man, I didn't know it was like that, man. Man, it's the real world, man. Lord, so he going in, he happy as hell. So and to understand what the brother was saying is, this is a polishing going on, because obviously we weren't on a certain level loving wise coming out of Kush, Kemet, so forth and so on. We have to get back to the love, and the only way you get back to the love is if you throw somebody in a damn pit and let them find their way and find their faults. You know, find their faults, find everything that they looked back on it like, damn, man, I was tripping when I did. I don't know what I was thinking about.
Right.
You know, Bobby said it, and of course he got it from his teacher, Dr. Ben, where they'll always say, man, if Kemet was so beautiful, why did it fall?
Right.
We forgot how to love.
That's true.
We forgot how to love.
Also,
I just want to say that.
Go ahead on, sis.
I was just wanting to say that one of the tenets of Noble Drew Ali was love, and that was one of the first ones. And we have to get to that. And when she was talking about orgasms, and when he was talking about Snow White, the kiss meant love, and an orgasm is the point where creation can take place. And only when we love and are in love and being loved can we really experience the creation by having a strong orgasm. And then that makes us the creators at that time of life when that happens, because the sperm is able to go forward, the egg is able to shoot out, and they all join together, and here we have life. But if you're not really in love with what you're doing, and I think we gave up our sovereignty to come down and experience the feelings and the manifestation of love to end up creating the universes that we are destined to create after we leave this physical plane. And that's what I'm taking.
That's interesting. I see you 215 and then 111. I'm coming to you in just a second. And I hear what you're saying loud and clear, sis. It's interesting that you talk about, or you're referencing back the video where sis was talking about the orgasm blast, because we kind of talked about that on Tuesday, where the female sexual energy, specifically orgasm, is very sacred and is very powerful, and how it also kind of sends out certain energy across the planet, across the universe. And because she has been suppressed,
right,
it's also the reason that the planet has been out of balance, okay? Because of the religion that was put on top of her, on top of the planet, the presence of the male dominance. And we know now, of course, those that have been doing their research and kind of going along this journey with us, some of the reasons that has happened. Some of it was definitely an experiment on our part that we chose to participate in. And then, of course, some of it is the fallen ones trying to keep us in this lower dimensional state so they could continue to feed off of us. Okay. So very, very good points on that, sis. But I just wanted to clarify the point, in my opinion, that we already had those concepts of love. We knew all of that. We chose to come into the form of matter, into the physical, with certain restrictions, to be put down in the dirt, as Brother Will said, in the muck and mire, okay, as that black piece of coal. But as you're that black piece of coal and you're learning, oh, wait a minute, I'm connected to everything. I am the all, and the all is within me. And we start to pull from the prime creator source, the diamond starts to formulate. And we come up out of that black coal, which is melanin, into the crystallized being. So we were already loved. We chose to participate in this experiment of matter. And supposedly, we are the only group of beings that chose to do that.
We're the example.
As Brother Wendell said, to give up our sovereignty. to do that. We are the experiment. No one else chose to do it. We chose to do it. Okay, and part of that is really knowing where it all started and giving that divine feminine the credit where credit is due, because it started with her. It's going to end with her, and it's going to begin back with her. So I'm sorry, sis, go ahead.
I heard that we are volunteered to be the example of what not to do as far as the experiments that we have on this planet and how the other universes are supposed to rule based on what we are doing here. Now, that's what I heard about what they say we're doing, is teaching others how to rule justly, truthfully, with love and compassion and whatever else that we need. We are teaching the other universes as an example.
That's interesting that you say that. I agree with that, sis. But I also say the other side of that is we are showing them that you can be stricken from everything and rise up to become a crystal.
Better people, better rulers.
That's
better
really
whatever.
what the message is. You could come from literally the biles of shit and rise up above all of them.
It's really bringing back that scripture. The first shall be last, and the last shall be first.
Very, very interesting. Okay, if you have a question or comment, press star one to get in the queue. But go ahead on, Brother Wendell. Go ahead, brother.
We got a couple of questions we need to ask out of that right there. Why was a certain group chosen?
Mm-hmm.
And number two, can we identify that group?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
That group was chosen because they were the strongest out of all of it.
I agree with that. I 1,000%. I think they volunteered, as a matter of fact. But
exactly.
Because
we volunteered.
The strongest had to volunteer.
True that.
To save the rest of creation. That's if they pay attention.
That's deep, brother.
Now let's narrow it down in the identification process. Which is the only group on the planet to this day?
I know where you're going with that, but go ahead on that.
That you can't find nowhere in history to this point that enslaved anybody on this planet. It ain't for one group of people. That's you.
I know.
That's you. That has not enslaved any group of people?
Although we have.
Yeah, we have.
No, it ain't. No, it ain't.
Yeah,
you gotta
we
understand
did
something.
enslave.
You gotta understand something. There's a lot of those people out there that look like you that is not in that bloodline.
Okay, so yeah. Now we on the same page. True that.
It ain't one group. It ain't one group of people on this
agreeing
planet
with
that we have no record of that group of people enslaving anybody.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you now, brother. So what he's saying is, I'm sorry. Go ahead on, brother.
That group of people comes out of the house of Jacob. Now if you can find anywhere in history that the house of Jacob enslaved anybody, please show me. Show me the record.
That's true, Jacob.
The house of Jacob is Israel. The Israelites, to my knowledge, that I haven't found it yet or haven't been able to find it yet, where the house of Jacob enslaved anybody on this planet.
That's truth.
So that's just a representative of the bloodline that the ones that came here to volunteer that failed. But I do want to, so the family won't be confused, what he's referring to when Sis Sandra and I was like, no, that's not true. We did enslave folks. Because the first actual slaves on this particular Americas were the quote, they call them white folks, were the indentured servitudes that were brought over from England, okay, by Moors.
That's true. That's true.
So
but
that's why
the house of Jacob didn't do that.
Yeah, I get where you're going. So,
his brother did that.
Because guess what? We was already here.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
We were the ones that welcomed them here.
Right. Right.
And then we got boogered up to this day.
Very good point. Very good point.
Sis, what I would like to put on it is, okay, going back to the fact that the Creator is quote unquote an androgynous being, neither male or female, and bringing it to perspective, the divine feminine and its quote unquote homosexuality. I'm thinking in a way that, considering the state of confusion that most people are in that are off into homosexuality, that's actually karma, because we don't know in what lifetime that these guys actually put the woman down. This might be
you're the
karma.
second person I've heard said that. You are the second person that I've heard said that.
Brother Will has spoken on that. And he also spoke on the fact that we have to keep in mind that, as for me, for example, just because I'm a male in this lifetime, don't mean that I wasn't a woman in the previous lifetime.
That's right. That is
true.
true.
Women now,
that's true.
And the women now may have been men in their previous lifetime. So the divine feminine is an energy.
Yes, very good point. Very, very good point. It's interesting that you say that about karma, because we do know that that's a very important universal law that folks continuously overlook, but everybody, it impacts everybody. But I was talking with somebody, and we was talking about the divine feminine energy coming back into balance and being strong, how even the men, it's being reported that a lot of men are having sexual performance problems earlier in their life. So meaning, it's starting in the late 30s. I've heard some people say it's starting like in the mid 30s, when that was unheard of back in the day. Okay, so when this person and I were speaking on it, this person was so wise. They said that is karma. That is the result of the way the daughters of this planet, of the universe, have been treated. The disrespect, the feeling that, someone is supposed to serve the man, the chauvinistic attitude, and karma is swinging back around and taking care of some of the ones that fit that bill. So that's a very, very good point, Brother Sean. Let me get to some of the lines because I'm about stacked up now. But press *1 to get in the queue. I'm coming to 215, then 111, and then 407. Here we go, 215. 215, your line is open.
Meow, meow, meow. This is Lioness.
Greetings, Sis Lioness.
Greetings, everyone. I just wanted to bring some clarity, and every point that everybody has said so far is so. The degree and the mix and the interrelationship, the sacred relationships of it are a little bit skewed, and the timing First off, there are cycles in nature, cycles of time, cycles of cycles of the cycles of the cycles. The feminine, okay, the for ordering, which is what is the return of the feminine, is a return to order, okay? And every 12,000 years, it's a leveling to come back, just as there's that polar shift, and like an hourglass, but a circular, okay? The feminine energy and the masculine energy is not the male and the female. So it's not that they're not related, it's that sometimes because some of you are dealing with the most recent past as opposed to remembering or even knowing because of whatever situations. I'm not sticking it to anyone, I'm just stating facts because everything that everybody learns is going to be adjusted in a minute because the truth of all the way back, past troglodyte days, before the beginning, okay? That's why one of Sitchin's books, Before Time Began, was actually one of his better ones, but you still got to read between his muck and mire and his truth and upliftment. So there's cycles, okay, within the cycles. And the feminine energy takes in all shapes, as you said. And then it's that the divine is the source of God, of who people think is God, the one source. And then you have that feminine. Femi means the return to who is the one, who is the deepest root, who is the mother, who is the beginning, who is the awakening, who is the spark. It has to do with positive and negative. It has to do with opposing forces, polarization, but not the negative aspects, the negative tones, the mind control that has been put before and sunk into many of I'll say us, because at some time all of us got that, but it's for you to use that feminine energy inside of you because every single entity has that.
Right.
Every single one. You have a divine spark, that LP40, that's gonna, and that Lucifer, who is a woman. See, there's a lot of clarity that has to come out. All that, although all things are being revealed, and to have put all the shit on the table was going to break right away, okay? And people were going to run because they couldn't handle. It is electromagnetic. It is not just electricity, because you have an X and a Y chromosome, you have an X and a Y axis. So it's a leg that's missing. We were primogenitor. We were primordial. We were the first cause and effect. We were the first of the feminine energy. I'm not talking about the female, although that's the mother energy. That's the ma. Guess what masculine means? MA and MAS mean the same damn thing. It means ma. It means mama. It means mother. The CU, we got to do this as we are alchemists, okay? Each of us are the same. I'm no higher than anybody else. Ain't nobody lower than me. Ain't nobody higher than me. All of us are who we truly are, and we just have to awaken to remember. So you use your spark to do that. And now you have to come and see and allow yourself, because some of it is about, some people don't want to wake up right now, and that's okay. That's fine. However, nonetheless, the energy is that flowing to and fro from the source, of the source, about the source, to everything and everybody, in the oneness of everything. And then you have to come back again and say, okay, what is that feminine? Okay, fem, me, again, is from the Yorubas, okay? Yoruba. You're a ba. You're a soul, okay? You got to learn the etymology and how to break this whole shit down. And when you do, it becomes more simple and more simple. Although it's very complex, it's really very simple. It's just levels, dimensions, degrees, steps, all sorts of things. So then the femi is the one thing. And then you break it down to that. That's one of the things that Shelley said that was the truth. The 9 iron, playing golf. That's why men like to play golf. Iron. I-R-on. Iron. Iron is the 9. But guess what? The masculine is 11 because it's copper, and it's the lineage of the mother's copper. The right balance is from the mother. The masculine threw things off, but we had to do that. Otherwise, we were going to continue to spiral, knowing that we had given birth to an anomaly. And that's the different iterations of creations. We are the prime, supreme. That's what divine means, supreme, excellence, of worth, splendid, perfect, intuition and insight. Masculine don't have intuition and insight, only the feminine. But you have to have the two together. It's not debunking any side. It's bringing it back together. That's why the males have to become feminine and effeminate to come back to giving the honor, because that's what femi means. Respect and honor me. That's what it means in Yoruba. It means to be kind-hearted and selfless. So it's all of those things, and I know they're going to start doing that. It's the number 26, which is the number of God, one of the numbers. It's the group of the 8. That's why 8-8 this year. Who's the Queen of Soul? Aretha Franklin. She's going to be doing some concerts, but I feel for her. Death ain't nothing. It's going to still be an honor to her, but they might try to knock her off then. Or she may have agreed to transcend then or around that time. But that's a great energy that has to come back in balance, because love is balance. Love is what I think her name is Sandy was saying. You out of love, or the lady on 347. Not Robert, but
it was Sandra. Yeah,
someone
it was Sandra.
Who was that in loving somebody, hey, it hurts a mother more to discipline her children, but you got to do it. That's part of love. Letting somebody do whatever the hell they want to do, that's not it.
Right.
They can do the act because it's about experiencing and expressing. Because now when you go back, before there was time, before there was the male, and before there was that physicality, we didn't have to roll that way. We didn't have to roll that way. So there's many things. So there's a prime creator, there's a supreme creator, there's all of this hierarchy, spiritual and other, that came about. We talk in many lifetimes, years, and all like that. That karma stuff only came in with the dome. And yes, there have been many more, what do you call it, experiments, okay? This is the final experiment about ascending in your physical body, if you so choose to do it that way. And again, that's your script. For my brother in Louisiana, yes, it's all recorded. Yes, it was all agreed upon. But many times of this, because of those cycles within the cycles within the cycles. But it is that we did agree to it. This one we have already, and we volunteered, but we volunteered knowing what the hell was going to happen. And yes, Wendell, yes, there was some stuff that we did, because you're going to find out those lineages. Brother Mo is putting a little bit out each time. Remember, I told you it's not just that Anunnaki bloodline. It's some other people around, okay, who have been around for ages and ages and ages and all sorts of things. But it's all of that has to come together to get her, okay? TOGETHER.
To get her.
Is in there, to get mama back. It's not that the masculine piece is going to dissolve or be beaten to oblivion and all like that. It's what the original, and it's Aboriginal, indigenous stuff that has to be gotten back to. But this time it will be perfectly done. Those who fall out from this opportunity that they have right now to transcend, because that's another meaning of feminine, transformation, transmutation, all of those things are within there. But it's that never-ending story, and everybody has a story, and everybody can be great. It's those who are holding on to that solid physicality and the ones who are really doing it and who have the law of cause and effect, okay, vibration. Yes, there's mental, Robert, but mental ain't the whole shit. It's that you have to control the mental, which is your mind. It's not your brain, because you're going to fuse that pineal and pituitary gland and the thymus in order to have that trinity of the feminine come back, take its rightful place, and have that respect coming back. She will no longer give birth to an anomaly. Still loved that anomaly. The anomaly thought that mama didn't love her, and that's why all of this shit happened over and over and over again. And now that's why each of us must go inside and say, let me let go of all the shit that I think I've done wrong, or that I think has been done wrong to me, because that's an illusion. This was an experiment to get the dross out so that now you can live in harmony and love. But yes, some people going to go to the pit because they want to, not because they have to, and not because anybody truly wants that. They know they have to have another alternative to get to the end of all of this bullshit. So that's what I'm talking about. It's much more. In order to do this thing justice, you got to have many iterations of this, and the people who are sitting back, sit back if you will, but also go get something. You have so much opportunity now to get a piece and say your piece, because you got an important part. Every single individual has an important part in all of this. So I yield.
Thank you, sis. Thank you, sis.
And
love you. Shoot. I'm sorry.
Is an 11, but it is not the natural. The feminine is the natural, was the natural power structure. The masculine has the power because it's a higher number, but it is not the fact that the feminine is well-rounded and has all of the aspects naturally. The masculine is a compounded, made man, okay? But I'm 11, so anyway, I love you all.
Love you too, sis. Woo, she brought it. Now, when she brought up about the X and the Y, the sis video that I played, sis Tyra, Het Haru Goddess, the return of Het Haru Goddess at the beginning of the show. The second clip, she talked about that exact same thing sis Lioness just said, that X and the Y, and what sis Tyra said was that Y is just a broken off piece of the X. And I'm like, damn, messed me all the way up. So very good insight. Very, very good insight, sis Lioness. Love you much. And sis Lioness, she has her own show. I know she does it on Saturdays. When she hits me up, I post her information on the Truth Uncompromised Facebook page. She's really one sister, as you can see. She threw down. She knows her stuff. She knows her science. Okay, so let me go to 111. We have 3 calls in the queue. Sorry for the wait. 111, your line is open.
Greetings. How are you today?
I'm doing well, beloved. How are you?
I'm doing just fine. So I'm sitting here listening to the show, and I'm studying alternatively. And I had so many questions lined up for you. I'm just going to keep it real. But as I listened intently, the questions began to change. Now, I no longer have questions.
Wow.
I'm just going to make this comment. I have studied. Let me say this. My first question was going to be to you. What exactly is the goddess? And when we dissect her, what is her pheno and genotype? But I don't disregard that question. I want to make this comment. As I have studied the Black woman's history globally and intensely for 7 years, to be exact, 7 years, I'm going to tell you the one absolute truth, or three absolute truths that I have come to. I've come to these summations, and people will differ with me on that, but that's okay. The first thing is this. It is very difficult to disclose and uncloak the true, authentic history of the Black woman. Because when you do that, when you bring into manifestation this history, and you let people know exactly who this woman is, it causes so much of a firestorm until it will just beat you down. You can't talk about it liberally. I want to say that firstly. And if let's say academia decided that they were going to go on a campaign to disclose the true, authentic history of the Black woman, this whole globe would be in a turmoil. Many institutions, the textbooks, the textbook giants, so many people would be called liars and would be out of a job because her history will change everything. Okay, let me say that. Second thing I want to say is this. How do you teach the Black woman about her true, authentic history? Because I believe it needs to be done in an educational lecture-type setting, and it needs to be done to her exclusively first. Because again, as I mentioned earlier, when you start to teach about her authentic history, you step on everyone's toes. Everyone. Do you hear what I'm saying? So how do you teach this woman her history? You have to disclose certain things to her. They're going to sound fantastical. I'm telling you, you go in and out of cathartic, emotional trips. There's anger, there's sadness, there's hurt, devastation. Then there's joy. Then there's equity. But when you understand who the Black woman is globally, you understand what is wrong with the world today. You understand what happens. You don't have very many questions. I noticed that when I got into the 5th or 6th year of my studies, I no longer had questions and I became quiet. Because before I knew who she was, I was loud. And when I say loud, I'm saying I would argue, oh, the Black woman's this, she's that, she's this. When you learn her true history, you understand that there is a global conspiracy. Hear what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
A global conspiracy to keep this woman's history cloaked over. Now, having said that, when you talked about the sister who did the lecture and you played the YouTube clip, I want to point this out. Now, she gave an extremely powerful example of the Black woman, but I don't think she knew what it was she was displaying exactly. When she displayed the pyramid with the black sun and the apex cornered off, most sisters do not know what that is, but I'm telling you, if you ever find out what that is, you will understand why you are hated, why you are treated the way that you are, because there is a galvanized effort. You can never let this woman find out who she is. I'm telling you, the Black woman is a sleeping giant.
Mm-hmm.
They will tell you it's this country or it's that country. No, it's not a country. It's an individual. It is the only human being on earth, and that's her. She's the first. Everything, and I'm saying this, I'm not going to give any disclaimers. I'm saying this because it is common knowledge that the original, the number one, the first, whatever comes after it that's different from it is what? It's a hybrid.
Right.
It's not exactly the same.
Right.
Okay. So she is the original, and you have to teach black women about this in educational setting. You have to lecture. There has to be book lists. You have to use mitochondrial DNA. You have to use all of the tools that were used to trick her mind into not knowing who she was. You have to use evolution. For example, black women, I know people always say, well, evolution, that was not us. And I know this is going to hurt feelings, but evolution was not the black woman. Just going to put that out there, and I'm not going to go into it any deeper. But I just want sisters to know that they need to know who they are. Yeah. They need to know that the foundations of knowledge, esoteric and exoteric, the occult, all of it came from the mind and the belly of the black woman. Each and every last spiritual modality that's on this earth, it's all a spinoff or a knockoff or an interpolated version of her original spiritual concept and her original procreation manifestations, how she went about doing it. So I know a lot of people say, well, women were here first and they didn't need a man to procreate. But what they don't say is this: how long was this black woman on this earth by herself?
Right.
That's the question we want to know. How long was she here by herself? And I'll give you a clue. Every sun temple on this globe was put there by her. Every grid that's laid down, people know this, the grids that are laid down on this earth, due north and every other one, were here 100,000 years plus. And I'm being very conservative when I say 100,000 years. Okay? So she had the ability to do that. Okay? What happened to her? What happened to Mama? And I know this beyond a shadow of a doubt. No one's going to see me about this. The true, authentic Trinity. What is the Trinity? It is the black woman's original reproductive modality, which is her, and she always her offspring was always two females. The Trinity is the black woman and her two female offspring. That's what the two serpents on the staff of Tahuti represent. Okay? That's what those two serpents are, and they are indicative of what? Two umbilical cords. Energy and matter. The sustenance that flows through those cords. Now, I just dropped on you some information that it takes a lifetime to understand. Trust me, I'm not going to play with you on this. But wow. I just want to say this for the sisters. It's a process, and you need to be serious about knowing who you are, and you don't need to start with the esoteric. You need what did your great black mama said? She said, "As above, so below. As within, so without." Okay, as up under, so on top. So we need to go with the exoteric. Firstly, we need to understand what mitochondrial DNA is within itself. Start there. And when you understand what mitochondrial DNA is, and what is the mitochondrial DNA that caused the manifestation of every other being, then that will save you at least 4 years of work when you understand that. Nobody needs to tell you anything about evolution.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody needs to tell you anything about the reproduction process. When we look at, I used to argue this back and forth in my mind, but the woman has 2 breasts for one thing. She originally had 2 offspring. That's why puppies have 6 or 8, however many they have. But we have to understand that when men say the black woman is God, the black woman is older than God.
That's right.
The image or the thought of a God comes much, much later. Mama's much older than that. The black woman is extra terre. Extra terre. That's why her temples were always in high places. Terre means extra mobile because she was global. So when they say Anunnaki, that is an interpolated description of the black woman. What they are really saying, or how they interpolated it, was they call it Anunnaki, which is still plural, but it should be Anunnaken. Okay? That's the black woman and her 2 children, her 2 daughters. Okay? So I just wanted to put that out there. I'm listening. I forgot all my questions, but I wanted to make the comment about that. And I want sisters to be careful because people do get their feelings hurt when you start disclosing who this black woman is. I could drop mega bombs as far as her history is concerned, but I won't do that because it will bring contention. So some of these things you need to talk with her in person about, and you need to have scholarship to back it up. Not one book, but several. So I just want to say that, and I want to thank you for your time.
Thank you, sis. Thank you. I do have to admit, as you were speaking on it, you actually kind of brought me to tears, and I'm still trying to keep it together. Very, very, very powerful. You dropped a lot of jewels, and I know you held back.
It's only the tip of the iceberg, but you hear me speaking like this, but I've been so beat up on by disclosing the black woman's history. I've had men folk literally want to fight me for giving sisters accurate scholarship, for showing
you don't
them
have to tell me.
how
I know.
to. Yeah, so you already. I feel you. And so
I already know.
I guess you can probably hear some of the defeatedness in me, but I'm going to still work to put Mama back on her high place.
That is your mission. That's
my mission.
That's your mission, and you're not the only one. This is not a coincidence.
Okay. I just need for my sisters to know who they are and know. And here's another thing. I want to say this quickly and get out of your way. When you are looking at hieroglyphics and ancient artifacts all over the world, stop just limiting yourself to ancient Kemet. The black female Bodhis of Cambodia and Angkor Wat, all over Asia, it was originally black female. They call them the Bodhis, and a Bodhi is a snake. Okay? Now, remember what we're talking about, those 2 serpents on the staff of Tahuti. The serpent was originally the symbol for the black woman because it represented a spiritual manifestation of matter and energy in movement. When you see the snake move, what is that? That energy and matter, she's saying that mimics her life reproductive process. Not only that, most snakes are what? They are parthenogenic. They reproduce by themselves via harnessing solar phatic rays from the sun. And when I say harness, I mean they position themselves. All of her prototypes, okay, Tiamat, the alligator, the serpent, the turkey vulture, the neckbet. The turkey vulture is what? Self-fecundating. It is parthenogenic. You can research everything I'm saying. So look at the zoo types that these black women used. And when we talk about hieroglyphics, haro means vagina, womb. So they're talking about the glyphics, the depictions of the female rulership of this planet. So what I want to say about when this is very important, when you are looking at ancient artifacts, what you need to know is you need to look at the prognatus. And prognatus in anthropology means the side view, okay? And when you look at the side view, you know that it is a black woman because the nose and the lips and the chin are even. Remember that. That's called prognatic. The nose, the lips, and the cheek and the chin are all lined up evenly. If you look at the avatars that you have on your program, if you look at that depiction of my aunt, you see her turn to the side, you see that her lips, her chin, and her nose are all even. But the very first one that you have, you know that that is not a black woman because the nose protrudes out over the mouth and the chin. Remember that when you're looking at these artifacts, then you will know how they change your image. That is the first thing that they do is they chisel back your lips and they elongate your nose. That changes your what? Your phenotype. So remember that so that you can know how to look at these things. And remember, black woman is extra terra. And Tara, T-A-R-A, Tara Arian comes from the Bodhis of Sanskrit, ancient India. So the true Aryan is the black woman. Tara Arian, okay? Remember that. Everybody got everything from you. Everything. So you have to walk around with your head up, knowing who you are, regardless to what state this earth is in right now. You've got to know everything you did, nobody can do. People are speaking and walking upright because you taught them. Black woman, you need to know that. So I don't care what anybody says about you. You got to know that you are sacred and you are awesome, and there is no other being on this earth like you. The white man knows that. That's why he said you're God. So, listen, I'm going to yield the mic, and I'm going to continue to listen.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much, sis. Peace and love, and hopefully this won't be your last time, and please hit me up so we can connect. Thank you so much.
What's her name? What's her name?
What's your name, sis?
Sapphire.
Sapphire. Okay. Sis, hit me up. Please hit me up on Facebook via Truth Uncompromised so we can connect.
Is your Facebook linked to your Blog Talk page?
You should be able to send me a message. Yes.
Give it to me once again. I'm gonna.
Okay, so just go to Truth Uncompromised, and you can hit me up, or L. Rojo Johnson, my other main Facebook page. So either way, hit me up. Okay, sis. Peace and love, sis. Thank you. Woo, she got me in tears. Okay, let me go to 407 and then 111. Okay, I know you've been holding a long time. 407, your line is open.
Yes, peace, everyone. Do you hear me?
Peace, love. Yes, we hear you, beloved.
It's my first time coming in. I have to say thank you. I'm grateful and humble for the invitation. I am really blessed to hear this topic because it seems sometimes I'm alone in this kind of topic and researching it and the femininity and the power, the divine in the woman. And they actually saved me doing my research 17 years ago. I was on the verge of suicide. I was depression. Studying the woman and finding myself really saved me, and trying to, talk to the women and trying to get the women together and knowing thyself, and even doing their own research, because this is how women is going to know, by doing their own research and meditating and going within themselves. But when I was hearing everyone and I was, meditating everything that was being said, it was a sadness. It was a great sadness came over me. being said that it has a lot of knowledge out there, but what are we doing with it? What are we connecting? Because I know with everything that is going on right now, the women could really take care of everything that is happening. The age that we're in, the Aquarius that we're entering right now, it's a woman showing with two water barriers, letting the water out. What is happening to Earth? The water is disappearing. The food is being poisoned. The air is being poisoned. Mother Earth is very pissed, which is why we're having all these earthquakes. And, you know, the elite knows a lot what's going on. That's why they're doing messages. Last year they did Goddess Kali in the building. They put her image up. And Kali is one of the fearsome goddesses, and she is a cutter of man's ego. And the day that they put the goddess Kali, a planet has entered our solar system, and that planet is going the opposite of how the other planets are going, and it's causing a lot of things. This is the 36 reset cycle that we're getting into right now. And a lot of things are going to happen is on the availing time. And, you know, God is short for goddess. The three letters, G, O, and D, the ancient symbol for G is an earth element, is a manifestation symbol, which is a circle with an X in the middle, which is when an egg is starting to split for manifestation. O is a water element, is containment. And D, when you see D to the sideway, it looks like a woman's stomach, and I love, that's one of my favorite letters. The ancient symbol is a rainbow. Goddess Ruth, she is depicted for the rainbow, and that means to release. So God is one that manifests, contains, and release, and is short for goddess. And it's not taking nothing from men, because I am a woman that is married. I serve. I have my 9 children, and respect my husband, but he also knows when I get up and I have something to say, I will not be shut down. I know my power. I'm very different from when I was 18 years ago, knowing myself. So, you know, and still learning myself. And knowing what the woman is, like the sister said, the X, you know, that's a spirit letter. The ancient symbol is actually an X, but with a line for above and below, which becomes a hourglass and becomes movement. And we are the reflection on top and below. Like my face is the same reflection as my bottom half. When men are manifested in the womb, their ovaries drop to testicles. So that is the reason that the Y is missing a leg. They're not the same as above and below. And if we go to the Emerald Tablets, they speak when Thoth came to Africa, the thought, wisdom, came to Africa to bring the tablets. He came from Numeria in Atlantis with a lot of knowledge in these tablets. They talk about civilization of women, which the remains are Easter Island, Fiji, Hawaii. These little islands was once a continent. And there they made the tree of life nodes that brings, you know, that they were creating, and a lot of, you know, council of women were involved. And something happened. A shift happened that now is starting to repeat itself. And now we're coming again. When the Bible speak about when Babylon came together and made a building to reach to heaven, it was a beam. It wasn't a building. It was a beam. And we already shot that beam already in this time. And it's causing a lot of problems. And, you know, men trying to be God and trying to go where no man has gone before, they are creating a lot of problems for this earth. They're trying to explore other planets and leaving this planet into a disaster and creating a lot of problems for us. So when I say I'm sad, is because I see these women, a lot of women have a lot of knowledge, extremely a lot of knowledge about themselves and what they are. But we're still in competition with each other. We're still dividing each other from each other. We're not connecting. I believe that if all the women in the world together came together and manifest a cure for this earth, we could shake this whole earth into resentment, into what it's supposed to be. But like I said, we're still not there. And it's so sad that all the things that are happening now, we're not able to find a solution. Yes, we could do all this research, we could learn, and we could go through these things, but when are we able to come together, leave these labels, what the matrix has given us, and try to do something about it? The water is soon going to disappear. Well, we're going to be without water, without food. Like, we are magicians. All of us are magicians. That's why my guys, we have talent in this lifetime. But we don't believe it. We don't believe in magic. We believe in a blue eye and blonde Jesus that came and gave his blood for us, and we forget the femininity, the divine femininity. Yes, she's great, but greatness comes with great responsibility. We must remember what we are. We must shake this world back to where it was. And but it was also relieving to hear other people like-minded that speaks about this and not try to, start, with that man. I could hear some of the men, they're like, okay, we hearing that they are understanding our side. And that's such a relief, because I got men in my community telling me women should not speak among men. And I'm like, well, hell damn, how I can't speak, but I give birth to you. If I hold you in my womb for 9 months and I carry you until you can walk, and then until you're able to leave the home, why can I speak among you? Why can I say my piece? And this has to change. This mindset has to change. We're not at war with each other. We are living in the same earth. We are being nurtured by the same source. So for us to throw each other labels and throw distractions that stop us from working together and curing this disease that was given to us long time ago. And it just, we could speak and we could go deep into the woman and deep in creation and the Big Bang and the theory and everything like that. But we need it now. We need the change now. We need this cure right now. We need this connecting with each other. And, I pull children. Even when children come around, I have my wagon and I sit with them and I tell them, things that makes them, I want to know more. I go through the projects and I do my arts and crafts and tell the women, I show some women some pictures like, oh, I'm not none of that voodoo stuff when I'm showing them Shekmen or Basset or Oya. And I'm like, but this is you, sister. This is actually you. These snakes is nothing about no voodoo and no evilness. This is you. This is help. This is enrichment. This is enlightenment. This is divine being, and this is you. But you are so quick to bring Jesus in the Bible to me and trying to argue with me for your divinity. So it's mostly a struggle to tell these women, you are God. Oh, no, you're trying to bring me to have my spirit or my soul entrapped. And I'm like, no, this is for you to release, for you to be aware of yourself. And a lot of women are waking up now. Like this is saying this is the age of the women, and the women are awaking. Even some of them, you don't even have to tell them anything. They're just waking up and say, you know what, today I know I'm great, and I'm going to move forward, and I'm going to do something about it. Like I said, we have magic. I have people that they say this can't be done. I grow a garden, and the seed germinates for 2 weeks. But a seed, if I put it in my hand and I put my energy, within 6 hours, that seed is pushing its head out of the dirt. And most people won't believe it, but I see it every time when I go into my garden, because now I'm not doubting myself. 18 years ago, I used to doubt and have fear and not speak and had a feeling, intuition to say something, but because I was in a religion base around me, I was already saying, you know what, I'm not good enough. I'm shameful. I should just end my life right now. But no, I started to study myself. I started to study how did I came in being. Let's forget about this Jesus. Let me put away this Jesus, this Bible, even though they have some allegory things that they pull from other places because the Bible's been rewritten so many times. But, I'm just, my thing and take is, yes, women are great. Women have been pushed down and covered up. And no matter what, we're rising up. We're coming from the dirt. And there's no way to hide us anymore. But we also have to connect our roots with the other women and do something and connect in a higher level. and stop letting these labels and these things trying to separate us. Like I said, we could go deep down in a woman. I could go and the whole night, but we have other people coming in, and I'm just very excited to hear what the other brothers and sisters have to say. But thank you for letting me say my piece, and I will most definitely tune in for next time.
Okay, thank you, beloved. Peace and love. That was absolutely wonderful, sis. And I'm coming to you 111 and 256. I do want to say to both of my beloved sisters that just spoke, and I know that you know this. I feel your vibration. You know, I've been on my similar journey as I was starting to learn how the woman was suppressed and what her true role and her true power is. I went through the stages of anger, sadness, etc. And, you know, I realized that what it is going to take is what we are doing now, getting the word out, but not just getting the word out and sparking other women so they can start to do that inner self journey to love themselves and realize their true power. But those of us that get it, we know the power of creation and manifesting. We don't have to wait on anyone. We don't have to wait on the other sisters to wake up. We don't have to wait on the brothers to give us the due respect. We don't have to wait on the white man to recognize us or to rewrite our books. It started with us, it will end with us, and we will start it back again. How you do it is creating the reality you want to see through your thoughts, through your words, through your actions. We will reshape the planet. It will start with us. So by no means do we have to think we have to wait on anyone. We can start as each individual doing it. And that collective energy will find each other and will shake it and make it move. And believe it or not, it's already doing that. This weekend, I was at a car dealership, and I shared this story with my sis. Just getting regular maintenance. It was a luxury car dealership. I'm sitting there minding my business. I counted 7 sisters. It's just 7 sisters in this dealership. So I'm sitting, minding my business. One of the sisters sat down next to me. We got to, normal chit-chatting, how you doing? She was telling me how her day was going. This is a Saturday morning. She's been up since 5. She did XYZ with the family, woo, 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 woo. So all of a sudden, she turns to me and she said, I counted 7 sisters. I said, yeah. I kind of noticed the same thing, that it's only sisters in this particular dealership coming in. She said to me, quote, well, we run the world, right? And I looked at her and I kind of laughed and we high-fived each other and I said, you're absolutely right. And we both simultaneously said it at the same time, but they don't know it yet, but they soon will. Okay? Now, this is just a sister I met. I've never seen this woman before in my life. She in there getting her service done. I'm in there getting my service done. And just that quick, we picked up that energy and we made that connection. She may not have known totally what was going on, but she felt the energy. She got the gist of what was going on. So do not think for 1 minute that everyone is lost. It is a movement going on. The shift is happening. It will happen because we wrote it.
Mm-hmm.
It started with us. It's going to end with us, and we will start it over again. But very, very good take, sis. Both of you all. You really had me in tears. Let me go to, oh, shit. Yeah, I done lost track, running my trap. I think I'm going to 256.
111.
Okay, 111. Okay, I couldn't remember. Okay, my bad. Okay. 111, your line is open. Sorry for the wait. 111. Okay, sweetie. I know that's my bad. 111, going once, going twice. Okay, 111. I'm sorry about that, beloved. Brother Sean, did you have something that you wanted to say to sis that just put something on it?
Yeah. She said she thought she was alone in this, and she really wants to reach all the sisters. That's really not your purpose, to reach everybody. Everybody got their own reasons why they came here. They got their own contracts. You're linking with the people that you're supposed to when you're supposed to. It's the very reason you're on the call. Everything happens when it's supposed to happen. All this was planned a long time ago.
Indeed.
Just a matter of remembering. And it's plenty of brothers that's down with y'all in this.
Yes.
Going all the way to the wall with y'all, above and beyond it. Don't worry about that. Just keep working on you.
Indeed.
Everything happening for a reason when it's supposed to. That's why this divine feminine energy is returning now. And to the other sister, don't hold back on here, sister.
I know. I'm like, bring it, dog. And that's why I told her to reach out to me. Yeah, bring it. We about that.
Right. Bring it. Don't ever hold back. Don't be worried about whose feelings you hurt. They got to hear it. All you would be doing is planting the seed. How they nurture and fertilize that seed, that's not up to you. You know what you're supposed to. You planted that seed. But I love y'all.
Absolutely. Love you too, brother. Okay, I think 111 jumped back in. I'm going to try again, and then 256, and then I see you, Brother Will. Okay, let me try again, 111. I think you came back in. 111, your line is open.
Yeah, my sister, I'm not the person that you were looking for. You already spoke with me. This is Sapphire.
Okay.
But I want to say this. Can I say this quickly to the lady who just called in? I want to use this as an example, and I want y'all to know I'm coming from a place of love and sincerity. I never want to step on toes. I want to create an environment of love and harmony, but my first love is to that black woman and her children. And this is why I say I have to teach these black women about mama in a closed environment, because there will be other women who will feel as though I am ostracizing them, or I'm leaving them out, or I'm putting the black woman over them. But I'm saying to every woman that's listening, be she black or anything else, the black woman, Malcolm X said it, is the most disrespected person on this earth. She is put last in everything. Every other woman would be lying if they did not say that their image is propelled forward. But let me tell you what mama did. She's made it so now that people can't even get looks and likes unless you put a black woman's face on something. Because people know what's being hidden from her. And when they see her face, there was this white guy who's a millionaire, and they asked him what was his secret to getting videos to go viral. He said, you put a black Barbie doll or a black woman or an old black woman or a little black girl up in the corner, and people think that you are going to address her in some kind of negative way, and they want to hear about it. I'm simply saying to you, the lady that called earlier after me, I'm saying to you, I want you to understand this, that this is not an attack on any other woman. This is the upliftment of my sisters and my mother. I have to talk to them. They're the ones who's broken. They're the ones who feel like it's difficult for them to get a mate. They are the ones who are ostracized. I need to speak life to them. That's my goal, and that's why I said to this sister right here earlier, it has to be done in private because people get offended when you start talking about mama, okay? And when we talk about her authentic history, it blows minds. We can talk about Cali because California, all of America was California. California meaning art, the beautiful art of that triple blue-black goddess Cali. So I know who Cali is. I know who the black woman is, but I have to hold back because I don't want to step on people's toes. I want to be courteous, and I want to respect every woman. I respect every woman and her children. I respect men. I give birth to black men. So you know I respect and love them. But I'm going to do what? I'm going to correct the black man. And the black man knows innately that he is nothing without mama. He knows that. The average black man will tell you it was his big mama that always went inside her purse to save him or to bail him out of jail. It was big mama. We got to get back to big mama. Okay, so that's all I want to say. No offense, I in no way meant to ostracize you. I don't want you to be sad. I just need for you to understand what my purpose is, and that's to bring up the mobility of this black woman, that original kinky-haired black woman. That's my goal. All right, y'all, I'm finished. Just wanted to clarify things.
All right then, sis. Thank you so much. Okay, 111. I think. Let me make sure. Okay, that's sis. I think I'm gonna try to go back to you. Then it's 256. Y'all lining up. Okay. Okay, so let me try 111 again because they were patient. 111, your line is open. 111. Okay, I'm assuming you don't have a question, 111. I'm going to go to 256. 256, your line is open.
Yes, good evening.
Greetings. How are you, sis?
I am terrific. I decided to interrupt my vacation. I kind of got bored watching videos, and I said, let's see what Truth Uncompromised is doing tonight. I came in right at the perfect this time. Man, that sis was, she was throwing down when I came in.
Yeah, pretty doggone powerful. I'm not sure how long you've been listening, but some sisters have really brought some serious knowledge, literally had me in tears. I had to get myself together. What's on your mind, sis?
Well, what was on my mind is as I was listening and what popped up into my mind, you know that symbol they have all over the earth, letting everybody know who is the boss, and also the so-called Masonic symbols of those two tools turned. It's also the male.
Oh, that look like the compass?
They said that, and also you see those, supposed to be the Washington Monument, goes straight up in the air.
The obelisk.
And we know what that's supposed to represent, right?
Supposedly the phallus symbol.
Okay, so that's what came into my mind as I was listening, as the sister was stating about the origin of everything and the mama and whatever. It seemed like he decided to supplant or overthrow of whatever, and now he got all those symbols sitting out here saying to her, see?
That's a good point. You know, you just sparked something in me. And I couldn't play it tonight because I was trying to reach out to my sis to get her permission. and I wasn't able to connect with her. She has her own media network company. As a matter of fact, I really look up to her. I kind of mirrored my media network off of hers. She's WGAG Radio. She's actually here on Blog Talk, named Donna Coleon. She did a segment, and matter of fact, the show wasn't even about the divine feminine, but she had opened up the queue, and this man had started talking about how she was in his dream. I guess he was in another realm, and these beings that he were talking to brought her up and said that, you know, she's not here for the man. She is here. She don't like men. That's what he said, the being said. She don't like men. She's there for women. And so she said to him, well, they're right. It's not that I don't like men, but my purpose is to uplift women. That's what my purpose is. So, and I'm getting to my point. She said, and it was so powerful. I'm going to try to reach out to her and see if I can get that segment to air it on this show. But she pretty much said that men that are erecting all of these statues, the obelisk, these pyramid shapes, she said what they forget is that their job was to build them, but to put the woman on top. So even with that obelisk, the capstone on that is the woman. And what she was saying in this particular clip, that's why they cannot get it right. Because they have forgotten the power, or purposely suppressing the power of the capstone, which is the woman. So that's very, very interesting that you talk about the erecting of the symbols, and as the other two sis said, one of the sisters said, that the sister that just spoke, even the pyramid itself that was built on the planet, she was saying was built by women. So very, very interesting you brought that up, sis.
So what my conclusion was, I'm not sure if we're on the same parallel, is this mentality, corrupted, I'm going to say evil, dark mentality of the, I'm going to say male, M-A-L-E, okay, saying to the fee, saying to that power, using that symbol, you know how they put the finger up, you know what I'm saying? Using that symbol on the earth. I don't think that they intend to get it right. I don't think they give a hoot about getting it right. I think it's in their mind, it's all about dominance, and this is their way of showing her we are dominating. So thank you for letting me in. Where's my main love, Wendell?
He's on.
There you go. There she go.
Do I hear a voice?
Hey, Mary.
That's Wendell. Hi, Wendell.
How you doing?
Anyway, I'm going to go back to my vacation time, and I will check back whenever. And, yes, I know, I believe, I strongly have this overwhelming emotional feeling. Wendell, you hot.
Oh, boy. Yeah. Okay, Sister Mirror. And yeah, he is, and I look at him, he's like a brother to me, but when I saw him in person, a group of the ladies, we were all teasing him. We was like, oh man, Wendell, we didn't know you was that fine. What? I'm like, you're like a brother to me, but I didn't know you looked that good. Go ahead on now. So, okay, I'm going to go to 248-407, and then I know Brother Will, you're on the line. And actually, Brother Morris Donaldson is also on the line, so y'all making this off the hook tonight. So let me go to 248.
Oh.
248, your line is open.
Show how I did. So good. Can you hear me?
Yes, beloved.
Can you hear me? Oh,
yes,
this
beloved.
is so powerful. It is so beautiful. And I just want to celebrate it. I want to send out the love to my sisters, but not only my sisters, but to the males that understand, about the divine feminine energy and this is so good, just that this is spontaneously welling up in people's souls. And to just hear the expressions of sisters, it's just so good. So
I know.
Thank you for
y'all
having this
got
topic.
me in tears.
This topic is so good. Mother, that's the divine feminine healing energies is what is the shift is about. This is what this year is about, and it's what's going to heal us and save us and help us, to transform. But I thought about what the last sister was saying about the phallus and the Osirian myth about how Set chopped Osiris or Osir up into all the pieces, and the phallus was missing. And so there would be no phallic symbols and no phalluses if it had not been for that woman going and finding, it and putting her man back together, the healing, So it's that divine feminine energy that makes us whole. So anyway, lots of love to everybody, to the family, and I'm just loving the times. I'm loving the awakening. So, much love.
Thank you, sis.
And I'm going to yield.
Much love to you too, sis. Thank you for calling in. Peace and love, beloved. Okay, let me go to 407. 407, your line is open.
Yes, peace. Can you hear me?
Yes, beloved, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you. I just called. I had spoke before, and I'm just going to say it real quick. I heard the sister, and I wanted to kind of respond. I think I didn't explain myself when I said why I was sad. Nothing of what she said made me sad. We were talking about the same thing, and it's nothing that I would assume what she knows or not know. But what I was speaking of my sadness was about the sisters, is that I live in a community with different kind of culture, and that's the reason I moved here, because they have the Nuwapans, they have the Yoruba, they have the Wadu, they have all kinds of belief of women, and we for 5 years have been trying to build. And what I said, the sadness of connecting and labels, I've seen a lot of these women going at each other's backs or doing things to bring down the other sisters. That's what I was talking about, the sadness among the sisters when they have all these conscious knowledge that you could step back, and when people don't think that you're watching, they become their true self. And they start digging and bringing out the claws and bringing one down or taking one husband or doing things that are about lower level mentality, not higher level of what they were speaking of consciousness. That's where I wanted to bring forth and clear that up. It's nothing what was said in this show actually is a lot of like-minded brothers and sisters. All, it's not even some, it's all that we are speaking about the same thing. It's not about bringing one down or taking out of the knowledge or the praise of another sister. I just wanted to clarify that because we all hear about love and we are here learning from each other and I take it as a humble blessing from everything that I'm hearing. So I just wanted to clarify that it wasn't nothing that anyone in this show had said to sadden me. It was just my personal view, and I was speaking. I had my energy very high, and my mother is a black woman. My children are black, so it's we all here family, and we are here to learn and taking pieces of gem from the wisdom of my brothers and sisters. And thank you again for allowing me to say my piece.
Okay, indeed, sis. Peace and love. Thank you so much.
Peace and love.
I'm going to bring on Brother Will. I think this is you again, 504, and then we're going to bring in Brother Morris. 504?
Yeah.
Hey,
yes,
brother.
Yes. All right. I'm back. And of course, sis, you know me by now. You know, I'm a deliverer of the spirit, right? So, at this point in time that we're in, many women, it's time for them to take their step forward as teachers.
Yes.
And this is what I mean. In this particular time, if you notice, over 80% of the teachers in the conscious community or just consciousness period has been men. And the reason why that was like that was because we can take the blow at that point in time. Okay, and when I mean take the blow, I'm basically talking about government stuff, trying to attack you and things of that nature. I myself had a helicopter following me, so I felt good when I saw that. You know, I said, okay, well, I'm doing something right there. But what that was about was a certain time that these particular men, i.e. Bobby Hemmett, Dr. Blair, Ivan Van Sertima, Dr. Ben, Dr. Clark, goes on and on and on. That particular era, which we are out of right now, we are not leaving out of it. We are out of it.
We are out of it.
This particular era, you know, it needed a force. You know, it needed a force to withstand the blows. You know, that's why you had a brother like Malcolm. You know, Marcus Marcellus Garvey, and so forth and so on. But the thing about it is, if you notice, the whole the so-called conscious teachers, you know, for like the last 6 months, have been at war.
Yep.
You know, and that's it poured out like that in the physical, but in the spirit is who actually started that. Okay, the mothers who actually started that, because that particular masculine energy of teaching has to fall. And I'm not talking about men teachers not teaching. I'm not saying us as men cannot teach and teach, you know, women about this, that, and other, but our era as these particular masculine teachers, and that's it. You know, the woman, she got to, you know, sit down and let us do our thing. Nah, okay, that stuff is falling to the wayside now. Now, there's many women out here who have a lot of knowledge, but they're terrified to talk. They're terrified to open their mouth because of ridicule, because of their families, friends. They're scared to take that beating verbally. Okay?
Take that hit.
But what's going on now is because we're in this time, the mothers, okay, this divine energy is behind these women. So to all women, if you feel the need to start teaching, okay, you have a support system behind you.
Yes.
That's top of the line, okay?
Right.
that you can't get at Walmart, okay, or any other damn store. So if any woman want to step out and start teaching people and things of that nature, if you want to do this, you have support.
Yes, you do.
You're not going to battle. You're not going to have the same things that Dr. Frances Cress Welsing went through. She had to debate all of these goddamn white so-called scholars because of what she believed in and what her purpose was, and going through all this bashing of her and hating her because she liked to rock her fro and all of this type of shit. You know, so it's a different era, and it's time for black women. Okay, this is no hate towards any other woman on the planet. I'm not talking about nobody else. Okay, I'm not hating on nobody, but what I'm talking about is that melanated energy It's time for that feminine to stand up and
yes.
teach. And teach. You have support. This is why we are here. This is why the White House and everything doing the government is in chaos, okay? Because it is the fall of this government and the rise of the divine feminine. That's what all of this shit is about.
Wow.
So women stand up. Women stand up. Okay, I stress this with all of me. Stand up. So with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and get off this thing. Sis, I love you.
Love you too,
Sean,
brother.
Hey, you know I rock with you, fam. Brother Wendell, hey, much love too, fam. So I'm gonna get on out of here, fam. I love you.
Okay, love you,
okay,
brother.
Bro,
Be
love
safe.
Yeah,
okay.
Peace and love, bro.
Wow, peace and love. I'm so glad Brother Will came on and dropped that powerful message because whether, you decide to teach publicly or privately, you are coming into your own, knowing what your purpose is in this particular cycle at this time on this plane. You wrote your plan, so you can do it. I know for me, some of the people that know me personally, I came into my own. I remember what I was supposed to be doing, and I was sitting back waiting on XYZ to happen, having some funds to do 1, 2, 3, and I had a couple people telling me, no, do it, and I was sitting just in meditation one particular day, and I was told, do it now. Do it with what you have now. And I'm so fortunate and grateful and humbled that I listened, because I knew by starting the show, starting the network, that I was fulfilling my contract that I wrote for myself. I was fulfilling my purpose. And I haven't had any roadblocks. Yeah, I have some asshole men that try to privately come out of an MF bag on me. I cuss them out, keep it moving. I have had people turn away. Oh, you think you all of that? Blah. It doesn't matter. This is the time of the feminine divine bringing things back in order. When you hear your calling, go for it. And I want to thank Brother Will for saying that you do have the support. You have the support here with your sisters in the physical that's here right now with you, as well as you have the support on the spiritual side of the divine mothers. And if you take one step, 10 steps will be pushed forward for you. So thank you so much for that, Brother Will. I think I have 248, and then we're going to go to Brother Mo. Okay, here we go. 248, your line is open. Can't remember if I did it or not. 248. Okay. Sorry, 248. You just popped up, so I'm not sure if you had your hand up or whatever. Okay, so we're going to go to Brother Morse Donaldson. Peace and love, brother.
Hello.
How are you?
Well, I am superb, and I have been having a wonderful time listening to all the wisdom which is being imparted by both male and female on this show tonight. It is absolutely splendid.
Thank you, brother.
Yes. Now, there are some things that I wanted to share with you, family members, which we refer to as the family of light tonight. And it's wonderful that we are a family which is attempting to re-correlate ourselves into the divine law of one, which is always so important, and it's the eternal law which governs the entire creation. There have been lots of beautiful statements made tonight, but I wanted to see if I could have some input so that we can have what's known as expansion with regards to our consciousness. Lots of statements are being made with regards to the planet itself, but there is information that lots of us as family members do not have with regards to this planet, because our origin on this planet is not in Africa. The melanated humans on this planet were produced on the fifth dimension of this planet in what is known as Tara. And there is no female first with regards to that. Male and females were produced simultaneously as a result of the higher dimensional beings belonging to the Galactic Federation, which governs over 1 million universes, traveling out through this galaxy, collecting the best DNA and the best genes one can imagine in order to produce an experiment of creating a superhuman being. Mm-hmm. That superhuman being was given a 12-stranded DNA system and given the racial identity of the black gods and goddesses of the Sirius B-star system, which is the system that became a supernova known as Digitaria and imploded in order to produce this galaxy. Mm-hmm. It also created the Galactic Federation along with its parent, which are the vegans. The vegans are located in what they originated, which is known as the constellation of Lyra. What the African American needs to do, because the African American is the chosen children of the Supreme Being Personality of Godhead, Sambo, is to utilize their awareness now and become more like the eagle instead of the serpent. The serpent crawls. It crawls around together. It has a certain symbology with respect to the chakras, but we need to exercise our egalitarian consciousness, which I never hear from the African American when they are disseminating information. We soar like the eagle. When we were produced as a 12-stranded superhuman species on Tara, we were given the ability to fly without airplanes, to fly without spaceships. The Zionite ETs gave us some of their DNA, which would avail us to the powers of condensing the sun rays and then transforming those sun rays into anything we so desired to have. These things are still going on with the black people on the fifth dimension in Tara as we speak. It is the black scientists from Tara who seeded the third dimension of this planet Earth. There have been many beings here, billions of years, hundreds of billions of years, prior to that creation coming to fruition. However, that creation produced us as an indigenous people of this planet on the fifth dimension, and then from there we seeded all 13 dimensions of this planet. We cannot afford to get stuck on the limited third dimensional world when we exist on all of the dimensions of this planet, as well as having been a prototype for all of the new melanated humans who would be created in this entire galaxy. What about the Alcyon, which is the Pleiadian structure where the Christ beings incarnate into lower dimensional planets when they are needed to be there to chase out these reptilians? It is still a war with us and the snake people. Africa got conditioned to the snake people through Inky. And that consciousness is still present. Inky's son, Tahuti, Thoth, proved to be a valuable asset, particularly when Thoth brought 65,000 ascended masters from Atlantis before it was destroyed and settled them in Kemet, which had been a colony of Atlantis for 50,000 years. It is the black family from Tara, which was produced 560 million years ago, who created Atlantis 250 million years ago. We need this knowledge in our vocabulary, which is what we do not have. Our vocabulary is so limited. We are a universal species, well beyond any of this particular universe itself. There are more universes than there are tiny grains of sand in the entire state of California. And each grain of sand upon our planet represents 200 other planets, each grain of sand. That's a lot of planets, and we exist on all of them. And they all operate with female energy. It is a female creation from its origin. Prime Creator knew what it was doing. It is the adversary that caused the fall of themselves by rejecting Prime Creator's decision to produce a female creation predicated upon melanin and female sexual energy. They wanted a male creation without melanin, and not the spiral curve, but the square cube. And this is what Western debilization represents. This is what the planet represents, because the same thing happens with regards to Islam and the square cube that people walk around in Mecca, giving its energy to it, which is nothing but a comet. And it represents what? The square box computers that were installed inside of the rings of Saturn, so that the Anunnaki from Nibiru could have control over the minds of the humans here on this planet. We don't think in terms of what we are, in terms of the racial identity, as the solar experience, which is Sirius star system. Nibiru is just one of the planets that Sirius owns that travels around Sirius B. We have the racial identity of the Syrian gods and goddesses. It is the Syrian culture which severed all relationships with Kemet once Anu from the Anunnaki produced the priest Eluru, the reptilian demon, to snatch the power from Akhenaten when he did not have his power with him. Sirius saw this long before it transpired, and they severed relationships from Kemet so that the Anunnaki could never have access to any of Sirius B's power. And yet I listen on the History Channel to these Hebrews speaking about how they come from Sirius B. But then people say, when does the Hebrew scribes and the Jew is not lying? And the answer to that, when they are not breathing. So we have been affected by that belief system as a result of being inculcated with the information from what they call the Bible. On page 201 in the Pleiadian agenda, Isaiah, who is extremely pissed because he has not done the ascension, he did not do the ascension when he was in the 18th dynasty in Kemet, and he reincarnated back into the Hebrew belief system and became a member of the King Solomon's temple, the Knights of the Temple of Solomon, which are known as the Knights Templar. But it's the Templars on Nibiru who were led by Lucifer for 200,000 years with no consciousness and no knowledge. They call Lucifer what, the fallen angel. But once again, I say they were not fallen angels, they were fallen devils, because they fell out of love, with love and consciousness, and became albinos. And then they wanted to propagate whiteness. Whiteness has no adhesiveness to it, so it does not create, it destroys. The blackness is what is the creator. It is these females and males alike as star makers and star masters, which are jet black. And they have a function to literally create universes by thinking them into existence. Thought is an extremely powerful force, which we don't use because we've been conditioned to the noise that the adversary uses on a constant basis. That TV blast and those commercials come on. You can't meditate with any of that. You need to turn all those things off, sit down and sit in the sun. Let the sun speak to you. Okay, what about the females and the males who live on suns? As solarical beings, these are family members also. The sun is an extremely intelligent entity, and it dominates all the universes. There are some solar systems that, as I say, have 3, 4, and 5 suns. You rarely have a solar system that has only one sun like we have. So these things we need to take into consideration with regards to our reawakening. Because brothers and sisters who are out there who have not been a part of this drama, which the Supreme Being Personality of Godhead Sambo and the Game Masters designed as a teaching method for all of the beings in this universe, as we say, so that they will learn what you do not do. Because in doing those things which have happened upon this planet, you never can reach eternity. Your existence is ephemeral. It is titular. You want to collect all the cells that you are so that you return to the source, as it is stated. The source is that you are prime creator. That knowledge coming back to you, you can never access all of the knowledge that prime creator has because you would explode. It's too vast. But what about Lady Gaia? What about going into the Akashic Records? It is the sitting in meditation, looking inside of yourself, which enables you to communicate throughout this entire universe itself. You can go into the Akashic Records. You can communicate with the planet. They call this planet a prison planet now because it's locked down by the Anunnaki, by the reptilian forces. And I heard one sister speak about the planet they're talking about, which comes in, is in our solar system, spinning in opposite direction. That's not true. See, the Illuminati puts out a lot of lies. Because we don't know the knowledge and the history and the science and the math of things, we fall prey to that erroneous information. It takes 3,600 years in order for Nibiru to enter our planet, spend 200 years here in our solar system, spend 200 years here in our solar system, and then back out again in that galactic darkness and go around Sirius B on its orbit again, and then back again. All that is a 3,600-year period. It only left out of here 2,000 years ago. Subtract 2,000 from 3,600, and you have at least 1,600 years to deal with. So when you know the correct information, it liberates you. Knowledge will set you free. Knowledge will give you power. These things are documented. Begin to absorb this kind of information, which we don't get, which is galactic. We don't get galactic training in the institutions here in Babylon. We're stuck into just the limitations of planetary information on the third dimension, which is the very lowest. Beings operate on all those higher dimensions who are what we would call various densities. Even though they are in dimensions there, you can still have fourth density, fifth density, et cetera, et cetera. You want to eliminate the fourth dimension, because that is the hellish realm. The Galactic Federation has designated as the fourth dimension for the hellish realm. And this is what the churches are getting you to pray to go to when they have you praying to go to heaven. The Anunnaki and the reptilians are extremely slick. They don't worry about having to go search for you. They put out lies and then use their agents to inculcate those lies into your belief system so that you pray to go to where they are located and be their food source on their dinner plate. They feed off of the astral body of those beings who leave the physical body here once they pass out to the death frequency. You are still alive. You still have your astral body. You still have your ethereal body. Learn about these things that you possess. Know thyself. We fall short on that. And when you know yourself, then you can have an objective of becoming an eternal being, an Adashi Adept. And we have the history in Kemet through the influence of Atlantis, as well as the fact that Atlantis as a culture still exists to this very day. It is beneath Antarctica. They've invited Obama there. He was there. Hillary Clinton, John Kerry, Trump, and so many others. They have been digging up the frozen animals that were on the surface of the planet who froze instantly when the flood transpired. And the cities of Atlantis, known as the city of Atlanta, is a spacecraft civilization saturated with millions of black people this very second. The government doesn't know how to reveal this information, and they've been pondering that they maybe have to wait 100 years because they don't want to, as they say, interrupt the American way of life, which is white dominance and the hating of the color black.
Mm-hmm.
When they found the information was true from Vera Rubin over at Stanford University, that the universe and the creation is 99.9% black. Stephen Hawking and the other astrophysicists went crazy because they did not want to use the term black. And they pondered and pondered, and eventually they came up with what's known as dark matter. So that became what they were using. And yet they still didn't know that there were more universes than they could possibly imagine. Stephen Hawking came up with the Big Bang concept because they come from the bloodline that has no knowledge. That Hebrew thing comes from the bloodline of the Templars, of the fallen ones. And there is no King David. There was never a King David or the King Solomon. Those characters in the Bible are all fictitious characters. Read what the Calpurnius Piso family says. I have it in that book, right, sister?
When Europe was black.
Yes, because on his deathbed, Arias Calpurnius Piso confesses that all those characters that they created in the Old Testament and the New Testament are fictitious. They have never existed. And yet we're reading John, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John on a constant basis, knowing that it was written by some noblemen coming out of Rome who had done a job for a family which had risen from being dirt poor to becoming the royal house of Rome. So we are deceiving ourselves by our own limitations as a result of having been enslaved by this creature, which we over here from England to work the colonies. I like to do the book when Europe was black because black people don't know anything about royal families in Europe and running the entire world from Europe. That's our history of 45,000 years after we dealt with Kemet. See, it was Christ's daughter, Sarah, who incarnated in Ireland during the Neolithic period, 45,000 years ago. And then she continued to incarnate into Europe. Because what happens is that we are the Europeans, not the Caucasian. We had to spend our time fighting those northern tribes, those northern savage tribes that kept coming down into Europe trying to have a place with their savagery. We created all of the languages in Europe. If you, I just have put the family crescents onto the book I'm doing on the character they call Shakespeare, who is a black female, Amelia Bassano Linear. Those crescents have the names that we created. Black, the Franklin, but English names we think that are names that white folks have. White folks could not read and write. The character they call Shakespeare, he was so illiterate he could not even write his own name. Europe is a major part of the organ of our history upon this planet. While slavery was going on here in America, black people were running Europe. The Habsburg family owned half of Western Europe, half of Eastern Europe, half of South America, and almost all of Mexico. While we were slaves, this is our history. This is our story, and we don't know it. All those houses. It's what when Hollywood does the motion pictures, they never have us in those houses. They superimpose white images into those houses. You go on Google trying to find the physical images in relationship to the names, and they're all white people. Most of them are just not white. They're either paintings or drawings, and they are white. They don't look like one another. You get 10 or 12 different white faces for one particular name. You can't find any black faces that belong to the original name.
Right. Right. Well, okay,
yeah.
brother, I know you dropping some heavy knowledge. I got a couple other things I want to get out to the family because I'm been getting hit up because folks are getting kicked off, ironically. Brother Sean.
Okay, to share something with you, but thank you.
Yeah, yes. Thank you. I'm going to leave your mic open so you could come back in, but I noticed some folks are getting kicked off for whatever reason.
Okay. I'll talk all night long. So
that's okay. I appreciate you coming in. And that's Brother Morris Donaldson. He's the author of When Europe Was Black, and you can get that particular book on Amazon as an ebook. And he goes into the true creation story. And his excerpt was the one I read earlier, regarding that it was a female creation through the female consciousness, and how the female thought the males into existence, and the purpose was so that the females could teach the male how the creation process operated. So I encourage you to pick up the book. He's dropping many gems in there, not only about the Black royalty, but also about the true creation process itself and how the different realms operate and what's some of the purpose. So I did want to, right quick, I know our time is getting away from us. I ran across an interesting article. I was really, really surprised to see this article off of, I thought this was off of Huffington Post. That's where I got to it from. But anyhow, it's saying spirituality and health. But it was a link off of Huffington Post, believe it or not. This particular article says, what is the sacred feminine? And it's actually, they're using excerpts from Voices of the Sacred Feminine by Reverend Dr. Karen Tate. The sacred feminine is a concept that recognizes that God ultimately is a dramonist, but a divine essence, a God essence, beyond form and duality, an essence that is in balance and unification of masculine and feminine principles, a dynamic, independent eminence that prevails all life. However, seeing the divine as an abstract concept of omnipresent consciousness is a challenge for most humans. We all have a basic human need to put the inexplicable into a tangible form in order to explore our relationship to it. And I think Sis Lion has touched on that. So in other words, putting labels on this, or putting labels on things rather. Thus, we tend to anthropomorphize or attribute human characteristics to the unknowable. In other words, we name and assign form to an abstract concept in order to relate to it at our level of ability. Okay, so that's going back to what Brother Mo was just talking about, that we have to start remembering and coming into our own by going within to come out of this third density sleep, which keeps us stuck in the third density teachings, which are false teachings, okay? So the divine essence or abstract has become a father God figure that we were taught to visualize, pray to, and imagine having a personal relationship with. Unfortunately, seeing the vast, infinite, absolute, and indescribable God essence only in the form of masculine metaphor and symbol has severely limited our human spiritual potential and greatly hindered our ability to live in peace and balance on this earth. For the last several thousand years, the dominant religious belief systems of our world have been patriarchal, which sanctioned societal ethics that elevated God the Father over Mother Earth and man over woman. But it hasn't always been this way. It is vital to remember that for eons before patriarchy, throughout the Paleolithic and Neolithic ages of prehistory, there were worldwide mother/female and earth honoring societies that lived in a more egalitarian, sustainable, and peaceful culture that thrived without war for thousands of years. It is urgent to rediscover and exhume the lost memory of those cultures to inform us and inspire us to construct a more stable foundation for the society. Remembering those lost matriarch civilizations authenticates and validates the significance of the sacred feminine and the importance of women and female values as we rebuild a healthy global unity. It is time to balance the masculine and feminine principles within our belief systems, our religious doctrines, our cultural systems, and within ourselves. To gain this equilibrium, we must shift our focus for a while to the ideal of universal motherhood. We need to explore the metaphor of the mother, the symbol of the goddess, and the model of the priestess. We need to bring to light the archaeological evidence of ancient goddesses and their stories. We need to emphasize motherly love, wisdom, compassion, and creativity, as well as our respect sexuality as natural and sacred. We must empower women and celebrate their contribution to spirituality, culture, and society. And we must awaken ourselves, teach our children, and educate our men. Awareness of the sacred feminine will aid us to appreciate the feminine nature in women and men. And that's what Brother Sean and others were talking about. And I think Sis Lioness about the feminine energy is within both male and female. Awareness of a universal motherhood would help us to respect the earth and Mother Nature. Awareness of the feminine principle will help us honor woman's biophysical and emotional passage through life and to help all people, women particularly, to attain healthy self-esteem. And we talked about that a lot tonight. And this awareness will encourage all persons to find inner balance and peace, thereby increasing respect and tolerance of each other, which ultimately will promote greater world harmony. It is time to honor the sacred feminine. Honoring the sacred feminine in the spiritual sense means valuing the feminine principle along with the masculine principle as equal and fundamental aspects of the divine. From a planetary level, it means respecting and healing our Mother Earth. From a cultural standpoint, it means reviving the archetype of the goddess through entertainment and the arts, and using language that gives equal emphasis to pronouns she and her. In the societal sense, it means recreating the role of priestess and respecting the contribution of women in business, science, arts, and politics, as well as the home and community. In a religious view, it means offering ceremony and service that reaffirms our connection to the divine, the goddess, the earth, and each other. In the human sense, honoring the sacred feminine means especially valuing the innate worth of a woman's mind, body, and soul, as well as appreciating the feminine qualities in male character. So that article came out of Spirituality and health. It is called, it was by Amy Peck, What is Sacred Feminine? Okay, I do want to get to one last video. I know our time is running short. This particular video I have played for in the past. I wanted to also play it again because I think this sis hit on it pretty powerfully. Her name is Fleur Byrne. She has her own Facebook page and YouTube page. You can get to her. It's spelled FLUERBRUN. Okay, and this particular video, she talks about the shift that is happening on Mama Earth and how the banishment of the archaic, parasitic, vampiric patriarch system is falling. Okay, so I'm gonna play this. It's not that long. I kind of want to end with this so both men and women can be aware of what's going on. So I'm going to play this, and then we're going to come back. Here we go.
Peace, family. Welcome to another topic of discussion. This is Fleur Byrne. Many of you know me already. I wanted to bring up a very serious matter that has become something that needs to be addressed. It is the end and the end of a cycle of a tyrannical patriarchal system that has just ended, and the beginning of a new cycle, which is led by divine feminine consciousness sweeping in. But we need to address a lot of the systemic issues in the passing away of the patriarch, old parasitic vampiric system. What I'm noticing in many of the metaphysical communities, also the quote-unquote conscious community, they've been dominated by parasitic vampiric males who main agenda is feeding, ciphering information from archaic systems that they had zero to do with, and holding platforms discussing things that are non-relative to the progression and also to the inlet of the divine feminine coming into home court advantage. I find it very challenging and very interesting that a lot of the platforms where a lot of these vampiric type males who have held a position of hierarchy, high hierarchy in their system of engaging with others, especially out to you guys in the world, has been sustaining itself still, even with the demise of the patriarch. I would say this, there are some signs of being able to discern. I think maybe there's some issues with those holding on to feeding these entities and their egos, or supporting their agenda based on the fact that, in the past cycles, there's been a lot of, disengagement of information, especially regarding the feminine aspect of metaphysics. The sisterhood has been demolished and destroyed for the last couple hundred years. And with the new cleansing divine feminine energy sweeping the planet, what I notice is that the old system is trying its hardest to really stay hell-bent on holding themselves in a position of hierarchy over any females. And I want to give some signs for those who may not acknowledge or not know what these vampiric type of tyrannical parasitic patriarchs that are still out here engaging in the matrix with a sword and a fist. Many of them will claim to be, some of the signs that these are parasitic males, many of them will claim to be alpha males. That is one of their main quote-unquote archetypes. They will generally call themselves alpha males. And, for those in the metaphysical who are sound in metaphysical or occult or in the divine field of, pagan studies, we understand that all beings have the capability of upholding certain energies at particular points when the foundation or the environment around them is cohesive to that, alchemically holding a certain chemistry so that whatever is engaged in that environment has to hold the stance. That being said, is that if someone consistently states that they're alpha male, the consensus is that their general environment is only being dominated by males that are subsidiary to that alpha, what he's called himself an alpha, meaning that he's only surrounded himself, and for lack of better terms, by weaker beings that are highly able to be manipulated or dominated. And I don't want to use weaker because sometimes it's just a matter of I like to maybe say naivety, meaning that the beings that this quote-unquote parasitic male is calling himself, if he's distinguishing himself as an alpha, he is surrounded, and if alpha is what he is being viewed as, it is because his alchemical environment is allowing for him to hold that stance. If you take that being out of the environment with passive or naivety beings and put them in a pool with others to the same degree of knowledge or information or pluralist, that so-called alpha will also change into a beta, and it will fold under in a different alchemical environmental situation, meaning the environment has changed. Now this alpha is amongst others of same tier level or above. He will fall into line, and he will no longer hold that archetype as alpha. Why am I stating this? Because we have a lot of parasitic vampiric type of beings out here who are claiming to be alphas or, masters at something, or, holding themselves as being almost, the kingpin. And their platforms are only based on their information, their expertise, their opinion, their research, and that is highly imbalanced. Okay, in all societies where it's balanced and holistic and healthy, you have a balance of tiers of different characters that uphold their position, but within a healthy balance of those beings in their outer or in their tribe-based. What I'm noticing with these parasitic type of males that are holding these platforms in all different arenas, I mean in metaphysics, in the UFO community, in the esoteric communities, in the Kemetic communities, in the quote-unquote conscious, melanin dominant conscious communities, in the holistic community, in the vegan communities, I noticed that there is a lot of the same banter, a lot of the same criteria as far as being very manipulative, very domineering, and non-acknowledging of other energies or allowing those energies to show up, to sit comfortably in even leveling of the being who's claiming to be. These parasitic entities coming from the old patriarch that are holding these platforms, I would like for a lot of our SiStars to be very mindful of feeding these beings. Also, I question the humanity and the humanness of these beings. I've seen some of them in forms that are not very human. I don't have to blow spots. Yours to use your discernment. I just want to give you tools to be able to spot these parasitic and vampiric type of patriarchal males and be able to protect yourself and also keep a safe distance. Listen, I always I always know it's best to not throw the baby out with bathwater. I've gotten the best intel information from those who maybe would not fit in the criteria of my cipher or my frequency or vibration, my vibratory patterns. But for the most part, I'm seeing an overwhelming amount of our wonderful SiStars who are being victimized by these tyrannical, parasitic, vampiric males. If a male is beautiful and divine and is balanced with his divine female, you will see all aspects of that. A holistic male, if a father, especially those who have fathered seeds of their own, you will always see or witness his seeds within his platform or around his platform or spoken of in his platform. Any male to the negation of his family or seedlings that he has manifested into fruition by having children of his own, and you not seeing them or hearing about them or him noting them, is a sign of a parasitic male. All healthy divine males, all holistic divine males, uphold their seeds to the highest standard and always incorporate them in their very being, in their very life, in their very tribe. A negation of any children around these males is a sign that they're highly vampiric and parasitic. Some would say, well, maybe they're protecting their children and so on. That is the case. I do agree. Maybe not all beings want to put their children out in placement, but the fact of the matter is, in a lot of these parasitic platforms, vampiric type of males have zero conversation regarding children, or rearing of children, or siring children, or of their criteria of what it is to be a divine placement in their child's life. That is a sign of a parasite. That is a sign of a vampiric being. Only males who give birth or manifest children into manifestation, who have nothing to do with them, speak nothing of them, and have no qualified conversation about the very nature of being a parent, is a sign that he is unwell, and most likely a sociopath or a narcissist, which is all criteria for being a parasite or a vampire. Again, that is one of the criteria of a parasitic and a vampiric type of being, patriarch. Another quality that you will see in a lot of these parasitic, vampiric patriarchs is that they have a negation of their female. There's two things that they may do. And what I've noticed is a new trend that they are tending to do is calling the female God, or saying that the divine female is their God, or that they'll call the earth their matron or their mother. That is a new trend that I'm seeing along the line of a lot of these males in the esoteric, holistic or quote unquote conscious community, is that they're always saying that in the melanin dominant brown community, you'll hear the male say the black woman is God. This is one of their mantras. But to all of their information and all of their what they are putting out to you, there's a negation of that based on the fact that you never see any females on their platforms not speaking. And if you hear females on their platforms, they're not to the same intellect to their own stature, meaning that I've seen platforms where males will have a female all the time, maybe one female occasionally who shows up or shows up much, but she is not to the same intellectual stature or to the same cognitive stature of that male who's the domineering quote-unquote alpha male, meaning that she is maybe holding a position to show that, look at that divine female I have, but she's not even to the equal level of cognitive and intellectual stature of the male that's holding the platform, that's probably taking and ciphering her platform for themselves. She may seem very limited cognitively. He may dominate the conversation the entire time on speaking or any platform that he's upholding. And that is also a sign of a parasite, showing, black, the quote-unquote labeling in the so-called conscious community, in the black community is, and I don't like to use black because black is black. So the melanin-dominant community is the black woman is God. That's what they say. They use the word black. Black woman is God. And they'll say that, but you'll see a negation of that anywhere. They will never uphold any woman, any female who is of that equally in intellect or consciousness or supersedes theirs, which is also a sign that they're not quote-unquote alphas. They're only alphas in an alchemical situation that is conducive to them, meaning that they have a whole bunch of, drones or beings that are very zombie-like or very in admiration of them, so they're passive, so that this being is able to hold an alpha status, only in that alchemical situation. I just mentioned that. So the negation of the female, the divine feminine, is always present. If she is present, she is of a passive level, not to the same or equal divinity, and she's always utilized as a PR to them supposedly being holistic or conscious or upholding the divine feminine or ciphering her energy or her platform, depending on if that being is taking a platform that may be that female, taking her platform, utilizing it for herself. So just showing them just based on the fact that they want to utilize their resources for themselves. Also sign of a parasitic vampiric male. Another quality of these parasitic vampiric beings, males, patriarchs. I want to say the parasitic patriarch because I don't want to label males. There's a lot of beautiful, holistic, and I won't say a lot, but there is a presence of wonderful divine male energy that is showing up. It's very supportive, it's very nurturing, it's very fatherly, it's very incorporative of family, children, elders. Another quality that I will speak about of a parasitic and a vampiric patriarch is a lack of respect for elders and a lack of referencing or giving credence or giving honor and honor to elders that they've learned from or that they have been under the tutelage of, or that they have seen that have that have helped in rearing them. There is a lack of conversation about elders. There's a lack of respect. Like if you hear a being, and this will be a sign that he is a parasitic or a vampiric male, is if he has stated something about an elder that, publicly, especially about some of our wonderful elders that have done so much to help and assist us and our raising of our consciousness and vibration. If you ever hear critical conversations or judgment or disparaging statements about an elder who obviously was someone that many of us have looked up to publicly, that is a sign of a parasitic male. Many of the many of those who are upholding the old regime of the parasitic vampiric males are archaic, and they give no credence to anything outside of themselves, highly narcissistic, and they will criticize and censure those elders who came before them that laid the platform for them. You will never see honor or to them. They will always say, I've seen platforms in the metaphysical community where they will honor every other ancestor except their own. The first ancestors that we are to give honor to is our direct ancestors who gave birth to us who manifested us into reality. So if I'm to give honor on, if I had an altar or I was giving honor, the first honor and acknowledgement I give is to my direct ancestors. I give honor to my mother and father who have given birth to me. I give honor and ashe to my grandmother, ashe to my aunt Julia, ashe to grandfather Pierre. We give honor to our own. Whenever you see parasitic males, they never give honor to their own divine. They never give honor to their own genealogy. They always give honor to others that they consider to uphold some sort of power or credence or leverage in society. That's also a sign. A banishment a non-acknowledgement, or a disrespect to the elders. And I have to say, SiStars, we are at a pinnacle point where we're going back into our first cycle, the Anu cycle, of the divine feminine going back into her state of being. A lot of healing is occurring, and a lot of information is coming out to assist in allowing for the healing. And what we need to do is join with one another without judgment. Now, mind you, not all are the same, and I'm not saying we should join with those who are in violation, because there are those SiStars who are definitely have been contracted by the patriarch, the sick, diabolical, vampiric patriarch, who are down for them before they are down for their SiStars. They put more credence on their relationships with these parasitic males, meaning that they're violators of children and families, home wreckers. When I say home wreckers, these are women who have no conscious being. They are very competitive. They lack compassion for other females. They are very competitive with other females. They see females only as their competitors. They will violate the family status of another female based on having relations with someone who is engaged in a marriage and so on. Those females who are violators of the divine by nature, by very nature of their actions, should also be put in the same category with the parasitic patriarch and vampiric patriarch. They are under the dominion of the old patriarch, and they will only come into your cipher under the guise of being a true sister, and they will come in just to disseminate the situation, cause chaos, and basically, create a coup within your wonderful, wonderful new creations that we're trying to create with sisterhood. So we need to be mindful that not all sisters, females, are also rolling with the divine feminine higher consciousness, and we need to put them in a category with those, and put them, sidebar them with those patriarchal parasitic males. All to say, I don't want to come from a place of judgment, but we need to come together cohesively, divine feminine and also divine male. At the end of the day, divine feminine consciousness is coming in, sweeping in the planet, and cleaning and cleansing, and really, creating a cohesive balance to Mother Tiamat. But also at the end of the day, the divine male will come in sync with the divine feminine, and at that point, we will be engaged in unity consciousness, and that is where that is actually the goal of the divine feminine coming in and sweeping the planet. A healing, a cleansing, and also to eventually merge with divine male to make us once again holistic. So I just wanted to give some criteria to some of these parasitic males and vampiric male, especially the platforms. Please, divine female, you are your greatest gift or enemy. And if we are going to get to the point of rebuilding our sisterhood, we have to be able to discern friend from foe. And by engaging or uplifting or giving credence to those who are in direct conflict or direct violation of the divine feminine, you are too responsible for the demise of the sisterhood. We need to be more cohesive, more loving. And when I say loving, not kumbaya, not unrealistic, just honoring of the divine healing going on, and assist each SiStar. Now, I'm not going to judge all females that were also engaged in the sick, diabolical patriarch, but we need to also understand that if those of our own gender are choosing to side with a patriarch that is archaic and passing away, because that old system is done, you can go down with the ship. We've already sailed with our new sailboats onto the new earth. You can rock with the old patriarch, but just know that when you do that, you will go and get what is coming to them. There is a consequence karmically to those who have upheld heinousness, those who have hurt children and babies. That's what I'm saying. When we're talking about the parasitic male and we're talking about the vampiric patriarch, he is the one that has allowed children to be. He is the being, and I say being, the energies that has allowed children to be massacred, for children to be stolen, raped, and for all these sex trade businesses to come into fruition. This is the dastardly being that is allowed for animals and cattle and all beautiful divine creatures existing peacefully on Mother Tiamat to be killed massively, eaten, tortured, and killed to the point where all of our nature is out of balance. These are also the beings, the old patriarch, parasitic patriarch, who has okayed for our trees, deforestation of our entire planet. We need to be rid of this old energy. And if you are going to uphold that, then I have to leave you where you are. We need to join together. And in that unity, like I said, you can have one finger and it can do nothing. You take a whole finger on a whole hand and you create a fist, maybe even 2 fists of whole fingers, and we have a lot more power together. Let's get it together, divine female. Please uphold your position in your divine higher self and start to take care of aspects of self. Please try to avoid feeding these entities that have fed off the divine energy, and please try to avoid having sexual liaisons with them, because that's another thing that's going on with these parasitical males. They're utilizing sexual rituals to use your yoni magic, your sacred energy, to be able to manifest more madness in the matrix. You have power over their dominion now, and you will be supported by Mother Tiamat and the energies of the planet if you are living in your divine self and holistically and in balance of Mother Tiamat, and again with the divine feminine, again with a goal of bringing ourselves back to a holistic state of being and also merging with our divine, beautiful males. And this is not a...
Okay, so that was Sis Flurburn. The name of that particular YouTube video is Banishment of the Archaic Parasitic Vampiric Patriarch. And her name is spelled Fluerbrun. She has wonderful information that she is putting out. She even did a group manifestation ritual a month ago, and she puts out that she keeps updating it for the collective to get together to create and manifest the world we want to live in. Okay, so with that said, I know we're winding down time. Brother Sean got kicked off. Think we had another caller come in. We're going to do the caller, and then I'm going to ask the panel for its last word. So here we go. I think 215 you were holding. Let me try this again. 215, your line is open.
Hi, it's Lioness again.
Hey, sis, I thought that was you.
Yeah, number one, this call may be your greatest call.
Wow.
Okay? Because it's the synergy in there and the explanations and all, but it still is so vast, and we're all of different age grades. I'm 67 years old, may not be the oldest one on here besides Mo. Hey, Mo, what's up?
Let me open him back to his line here.
What the Flora Brun was just saying, I've been in look, there's different levels, there's different types of consciousness, and within those categories of consciousness, awareness, and the titles and positions, okay, there's even levels and degrees within all of that. So I'm saying I've been there since I was 8 years old, actually way before, okay? But the thing that she said about the males, like even Bobby, Bobby and I tight, and others. Okay, Steve Coakley, I got most of the information. Okay, out there in the trenches and things like that for decades. But some of the males, or I don't like the word, but so nonetheless, okay, some of the males, but they don't have anything on me because I did the works of my hands. I did my work. I still do my work. I share my work, and I do teach to the young ladies who were on there. And I love y'all. Know that there's those of us, and before me even, who have been in the trenches, but galactically and now cosmically, I'm so old, and so are others, that we all are now coming together again in the light, the love, and the laughter. Don't throw away that laughter. That's going to help your individual self and your more spiritual, cosmic consciousness self, or in your own ascension of everything and your own assimilation and absorption and the holding and sustaining of the information so that you can build your thing up so that you can stand in your own circle, the feminine circle, okay? So that then you can go to the other shapes and sizes and love your children and love your family and your neighborhood and be that character, though. Don't lose sight of building your character, because that's what it's about. There's no sin and all that kind of shit, okay? But in the same thing, when you learn to love yourself, you can't do nothing else. You can't do anything else but be that, and to others as well. But you're a universe within yourself. There are boundless universes, and you are unlimited, and you are both loved and should be loving. So it's all good, and just thank you. And if y'all want to listen to some things, you could. I'll send you the things, because I'm going to come to Blog Talk Radio.
Oh, thank goodness. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Good. And we can even do joint shows so you and I can sync up. Yes.
Yeah, because I've been saying for 2.5, 3 years, and before then was setting up classes and the round tables. Round tables are important, but first people have to relearn how to think, not what to think whatever the hell you want to think, okay?
Right.
Positiveness gets positiveness, however, but that's on the individual, how they want to roll and what their scripts are and all sorts of all of these other variables. But in the end, there's still only the oneness in and of and for everything and everybody and all of your bodies. So it's wonderful, truly, truly wonderful.
Thank you, sis. Love you much. Very, very powerful information. Love you, sis.
Thank you. You too.
Okay, peace and love.
You want to go to the panel?
I'm sorry, Brother Mo, what you say?
Okay. Are you going to go to the panels just for information?
Yeah, I'm going to do last words for the panel. Sis, Sandra, you have any? Huh?
Now, wait, there's something just briefly I wanted to have some input so maybe people can think about it. That, we've been bombarded already with a brand new frequency, and lots of the regurgitating of old things that we're doing is unnecessary. We need to start thinking for the new and building for the new. We keep giving life to what we're trying to allow to die by regurgitating the details about it on a constant basis. See, that's why the wormholes are there. You can shortcut your distances from galaxy to galaxy. We need to learn how to exercise brevity and let those old acts die off, because they have no more future in the new world that we're entering. We need to start planning for that new world and constructing and building from a different concept.
Right.
That's why I wanted to just because we destroy ourselves we destroy our own objective by constantly regurgitating the garbage that's trying to go down the toilet. Let it die.
Yep.
Okay, you sure, baby?
All right, agreed. Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. Sis Sandra, did you have any last words for the family?
Yes, I do. And I want to be as brief as I can because time's running out. But we need to have a symbiotic relationship between the divine female and the male. And I think of the song by Percy Sledge, When a Man Loves a Woman. Mm-hmm. And when he loves her, he loves her for everything that she brings to the table, and not just for a notch on his belt.
That's right.
And he allows her to be the divine feminine that she's supposed to be. And when she supports him, he becomes the great man he's supposed to be. And that's what creates symbiotic relationship of both sexes. We should love and support the good nature, the love, and the strength that each one brings to the table. And that's all I have to say.
Indeed. Thank you, sis. Thank you, sis. Great, great input. Love you. Brother Wendell, you have any last words for the family?
I don't know. I'm just laying back. You know what I'm saying? I'm just enjoying the scenery, you know.
Oh, okay. Hey, that's fair enough, brother. That is fair enough. Brother Sean got kicked off. He did want me to read his last words to the family. He says, "Go within, and you will connect with all that you are meant to reach. Within is where you can have unfiltered connections." So thank you so much, Brother Sean. I want to tell the family this has really, really been a powerful show for me. It was very, very emotional. I knew that it would be strong. I asked that the proper energies come through, the right message comes through, and it definitely delivered tonight. A lot of you sisters, the wealth of information and brothers too that you provided tonight, it literally had me in tears. I was on mute several times trying to get myself together. That's how powerful the information is. So I want to thank you all, and I want to say to my sisters, to my melanated sisters in particular, that now is your time. No matter, what small fate you think that you are doing, whether that's getting up every morning, taking care of them babies, taking care of your husband, that's doing your part. Those of you that have been called upon to teach, you know who you are. That is the universe, the multiverse, the mother speaking to you. Now's the time for you to do it. It is going to be up to us to spread the message across this planet, across this universe, to bring things back in balance. And you're not alone. You have a wealth of sisters here in this realm, on this planet, looking out for each other. That's whether or not we're in the quote-quote conscious community or spirituality realm. That's in business. That's in motherhood. That's in sisterhood. You also have our spiritual connection with our ancestors, the mother creators. Now is your time, women. And know that I love you all very much. I appreciate you. And I did want to end with a quote that says, "A nation can rise no higher than its woman." So with that said, I want to thank everyone. Peace and love, family. Love you very